It's time for the Mark Bless Show on Audio Sports Online. The Mark Bless Show is brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling, Citywide Paving, Changes Home Care, and Avon Dental Care. Now it's time to talk to the head coach of the Avon Orioles, Coach Mark Bless. Welcome to the Mark Bless Show on Audio Sports Online. I'm your host, Brian Scott. It was a long, late night for the Avon Orioles last Friday night when they traveled to Fishers to take on the Hamilton Southeastern Royals in what was the Hoosier Crossroads Conference opener for both teams. Both teams also ranked in the top 20 in Class 6A heading into last Friday night's game. The Orioles were ranked 7th coming off of that last-minute loss to Ben Davis the week before, while Hamilton Southeastern entered the contest ranked 12th. It was a game that was delayed by 2 hours due to lightning in the area, as both teams never made it onto the field until 8:30 to begin pregame warm-ups, and that delay seemed to have an effect on the Avon Orioles offense as they were out of sync for most of that game. Even so, the Orioles found themselves with an 8-point lead with less than 5 minutes left to go in the game, but Hamilton Southeastern had a long drive that culminated in a touchdown with less than a minute to go. The Royals got the 2-point conversion, and after the ensuing kickoff on the very next play, quarterback Brandon Peters was stripped from behind and fumbled the ball. That led to a Hamilton Southeastern field goal, and that's the difference in the game. When we come back, we'll talk to the head coach of the Avon Orioles, Coach Mark Bless, about last Friday night's game against Hamilton Southeastern, and we'll look ahead to this week's game against the Bulldogs from Brownsburg. This is the Mark Bless Show on Audio Sports Online. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
Changes Home Care is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcast. Changes Home Care assists the elderly in staying independent in the comfort of their own home as long as possible. They assist individuals with bathing, dressing, transportation, medication reminders, light housekeeping, companionship, and much more. Their office is on Shiloh Professional Drive in Avon. Changes Home Care serves Hendricks and Marion County as well as all of the surrounding counties. Their services are available 24/7, 365 days a year. For a consultation appointment, call area code 317-271-3800. That's area code 317-271-3800. Changes Home Care in Avon.
We'd like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year. Welcome back to the Mark Bless Show on Audio Sports Online. It is now time to talk to the head coach of the Avon Orioles, Coach Mark Bless. Orioles coming off really another kind of gut-wrenching loss last Friday night as they fell to Hamilton Southeastern by the score of 21-18. Coach, it was a weird night overall, much less, 2-hour wait before you get to kick off. But in the end, it just kind of felt like the team was a little off all night. Coach Shelbourne and I, during the game, we said it just looked like the entire team was off that night.
I would agree, Brian. And, you get a little bit of a bus ride ahead of you, and then you get there. And we thought we were going to be pressed to get out on the field time-wise, and then a big bolt of lightning hits. And so, of course, that's when the delay started. And, as you said, it was a long delay, but it was that long delay for both teams. It's something that we try to preach to our players is control what you can control, and everything else, you don't worry about. Well, I don't know. I don't want to make excuses for us by any means because we've got to be ready to play it every Friday night. And, you're right. We just never really got in sync offensively. I thought defensively we played well outside of a couple big plays. But offensively, it seemed like we struggled all night to find our rhythm.
Yeah, we saw it in just the number. We saw a couple of balls that hit the turf. It seemed like when Brandon was in the shotgun most of the night. He was having to pick up a lot of balls, low snaps that kind of threw things off. And it just, as you said, just never, timing-wise, we've seen Brandon Peters and Andrew Griffin hit on that slant route for the last, 3 years here in high school. And as Coach Shelbourne said, they've been doing it back since 6th grade, but it just never was there Friday night.
No, you're right. You're right. And, there was probably a number of factors, inconsistent snaps. At times we struggled picking up, linemen or a blitz here or there. Brandon wasn't fully stepping into his throws. At times when we made the throws, the receivers weren't extending for the ball. So, it's a combination of things. And as a coach, you've got to take full responsibility and make sure your players are ready to play it every Friday night.
This was a game we saw after the Ben Davis game, which, of course, as I said, kind of a little bit of a punch in the gut. But you really cut down on penalties, and really until that last series when Southeastern was driving for what turned out to be the game-tying touchdown, you really limited penalties, and then, of course, you had the big pass interference plays late.
Well, yeah, and I guess those are up to interpretation. I thought we were great coverage on both those back-to-back pass interferences. It's kind of what we teach our DB in the end zone, get between the defender and the ball. You can kind of position him to be out of bounds, and you've done your job. Unfortunately, the officials didn't see it that way. But, even so, we still got to play the next play. I thought we did clean up a few areas, but got bit by a couple others there late in the game.
Brandon was, again, we would say he was a little bit off with his throws, but in all fairness, that Hamilton Southeastern defense was very, very good all night long, where Ben Davis was bringing a lot of blitzes, trying to bring more players than you could block. We saw Hamilton Southeastern really do it with just basically their front line and front seven.
Right. They've got a couple players. I think one's committed to Purdue, and he's a very solid player. Colin Miller, we had a hard time blocking him at times. But we have faced some very good people on defensive line all the way back from our scrimmage with Bloomington North's defensive end, and then the following week, Plainfield's got a good one. And then Ben Davis, their stunts and blitzes. So I think our line has been through quite a bit. And hopefully, we can learn some lessons and get better, certainly pass blocking, but as well playing the complete game.
Running game was a little slow to begin with, but as the game wore on, we really saw Corey DePriest run the ball very effectively in the second half.
He did. I thought at the beginning of the game we didn't run the ball extremely efficient. I thought both he and Brian Fitzgerald had missed a couple key reads. And then in the second half, I think we kind of challenged our players to just do their job and quit trying to, make every play a 60-yard touchdown. The old saying is you got to get 4 before you get 40. And I think we were kind of forgetting about that philosophy. And I thought Corey settled down, and he's very quick, very explosive, and he was able to make some plays during the second half.
Unfortunately, special teams comes back to kind of bite you again. Last week against Ben Davis, we saw a muff punt that resulted in a touchdown. And Friday night, we see another muff punt. It only resulted in a Southeastern field goal, but still another turnover that leads to points on special teams.
And it's not like we don't work on those areas in practice. But, when you're on an island getting ready to field a punt, I believe this week it was Ian. And, Ian was underneath it and then just kind of backed out at the wrong time and got caught making a decision whether if he tried to field it or back away. And unfortunately, we turned the ball over again, and that is disappointing because especially in that situation where your defense has come off the field after making a stop, you feel good about things, and then immediately you're back out on the field. So we've got to find somebody or a couple guys who feel comfortable and confident in fielding punts.
We saw this week, I think a lot of, I know Coach Shelbourne is just driving him nuts, some of the officiating, whether it was the where the ball was to be spotted on that muff punt, you can't advance a muff punt. We saw some of the confusion reign on the pass interception, which, of course, the rule was changed last year that it's not an automatic first down, and where the ball was, they decided to go half the distance to the goal. And then it really at the end we saw an issue with the timing. I know it's very difficult to really get on an official, but does some of that you just sit back and go, come on, guys, it shouldn't be this difficult?
Well, it shouldn't be. They try to do the best job they can. We understand that, but there are times where you just have the head coach scratch your head. I thought the 2-point conversion, I thought the quarterback crawled in on his knees to get that. Now, I'm not out on the field. They are, but that's what it looked like to me. But still, it comes down to us playing and not allow certain key calls to interfere or to make a decision of the game. So I try not to overreact. I do want to state my case. And if it's definitely something that can be reversed, get that reversed. But I try not to harp on it too long because I don't want our players to react that way.
We're talking with the head. Go ahead, Coach.
There are times it's very frustrating as a head coach dealing with some calls that just don't make sense to you.
We're talking with the head coach of the Avon Orioles, Coach Mark Bless. When we come back, the Orioles return home to Hendricks Regional Health Field, where they will face their longtime rival, the Brownsburg Bulldogs. This is the Mark Bless Show on Audio Sports Online. McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
Avon Dental Center is a proud sponsor of Avon High School sports broadcast. Dr. Timothy Greer and Dr. Christopher Lefebvre have served Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. Avon Dental Center offers high-tech dentistry that includes dental implants, orthodontics, and one-appointment crowns. At Avon Dental Center, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. You can get more information at avondentalcenter.com or call for an appointment at 272-8100. Avon Dental Center.
Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at RedCobraWrestlingAcademy.com. Welcome back to the Mark Bless Show on Audio Sports Online. The Orioles return home this week in what is really a marquee game, not only in central Indiana, Hendricks County especially, but nationally, as it's getting quite a bit of national press, as the Orioles will welcome their longtime rival, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, into Hendricks Regional Health. This is a team you've faced several times in the past few years, especially with Brownsburg's heralded quarterback Hunter Johnson at the helm. This is a matchup of really, it's and one of the reasons why it's such a big national game. It's really a high-class blue chip event. You've got on the Orioles side, of course, Brandon Peters, Andrew Griffin, Matt Moore could be easily a Division I recruit if he didn't decide to want to swing the bat. And you've got Bryant Fitzgerald that's getting a lot of looks, and of course on Brownsburg's side, we've talked about Hunter Johnson. Toksak and Rabati, their talented running back, is going to be headed to Iowa. Tyler Kurtz to Ball State, their talented wide receiver. So a lot of prep talent that's going to be on the field at one time in a pretty big game.
Yeah, and it is kind of neat, and you feel good for all the Hendricks County players who have received that kind of attention. from Division I college coaches, not just our players, but theirs as well. And there will be a lot of talent on the field, and, it's always a high-intensity game. The fans are thoroughly involved in it. And, you hope to come out and you play the way you're capable of.
You had the 2-hour delay at Hamilton Southeastern, that due to lightning, inclement weather in the area. This Friday, for fans that are not aware, the kickoff for this game is 8 o'clock. It is moved back due to national interest. What will you do? Will you basically do everything the same you do every week, but just say show up an hour later?
Yes, absolutely. We try to develop a routine, a weekly routine, and, that counts our practices as well as film time after practice and what we want to do game day, depending on, if we're home or road. But, yeah, we try to develop a routine because that way hopefully our players get accustomed of when physically they need to start being turning it on, so to speak, and mentally being prepared.
This is going to be a rather interesting week schedule-wise. Of course, as I said, the 2-hour delay at Hamilton Southeastern. All the kids were off school Monday for Labor Day. That's a little bit different in the schedule. So kind of the whole week long is just going to be a little bit off as far as routine-wise, as you said.
Yes, it will be. But, we got to try to make sure we're prepared and that we handle all the circumstances the best we can. And, be ready to play a football game come Friday at 8 o'clock.
Well, speaking of the game on Friday night, or a little bit later coming up here on Audio Sports Online and xrbradio.com, Brownsburg Bulldogs come in. They finally got their first win in a while. They carried an 8-game losing streak. Matter of fact, you have to go back to the Avon game during the regular season last year. Well, it was the previous time the Bulldogs won a game. They finally got off the schneid, beating Franklin, and they had to play Saturday morning, but they win that game 68-7. We all know about Hunter Johnson. Of course, he's been in the Indianapolis Star. I've had people wanting to interview me from Tennessee, all asking about this kid. But when we talk about what you're going to do against Brownsburg, Johnson is a big key, but I would imagine first and foremost, you take a look at their running game, you take a look at what they want to do, and you always have to look at Toksak and Rabati as one of your first and foremost priorities.
Well, certainly. I think it does all start with the quarterback first, though, because, Hunter's the one that reads on the zone, whether the end's crashing or playing at home. And I think Hunter is kind of the playmaker. He's going to be the commander back there. But certainly when Tokes gets the ball, he's a threat to go the distance from any location on the field. So, you got to make sure up front that you're ready to stop the run, whether it be Tokes running the ball or Hunter reading the zone and coming off the edge.
Talk about stopping the run. Against Hamilton Southeast, who did a fairly good job most of the game. They had a little bit of success in the second half. But now, if you take a look this entire season, your defense against the run has been pretty stout most of the first 3 games.
I would agree. I think that our front 7, front 6 are getting to the ball pretty quickly. We've been making pretty decent tackles within the box. It seems like outside the box at times is where we fail at times to make an open field tackle. But we have felt pretty good about our run stop defense.
We've been talking about the past few weeks, especially in the defensive secondary, getting beat by a couple of big plays. Hamilton Southeastern got a couple, but this was a game we talk about the Orioles being a little out of sync. Southeastern was pretty much out of sync for a good 3 quarters and almost into that fourth quarter before that last about 4-minute stretch. Do you still want to keep a little bit more pressure on Johnson, try to bring a few more blitzes, or will you try to maybe sit back a little bit and kind of help out on the outside for your DBs?
Well, that's a question. I think, anytime you put too much pressure, you're pulling somebody into the box and maybe having a weakness behind it. Whereas on the other side, if you're not getting pressure and giving him plenty of time to make decisions, then he's pretty good. I think there's a fine line in there. We're going to see what works best for us.
This game has the potential of being a wild shootout. We've talked about Brownsburg's offensive stars, 3 blue chippers on their team, and they currently lead the Hoosier Crossroads Conference in points, have scored 149. However, they've also given up 127, so this game really could end up in a wild shootout.
Well, there's possibility of that. I think what we need to worry about with our offense is make sure we're in sync, make sure we're doing the things that we're capable of doing, and that we're playing within our team and within the confines of what we do. So, for us, offensively, we want to make sure we're clicking on all cylinders this week.
Speaking of coming into this week, health-wise, we did notice Jordan Peterson. He played about the first half, didn't see him in the second. Drew Penke-Wallace got a majority of the snaps there in the second half. How are you health-wise coming into this week?
Well, Jordan dislocated one of his fingers on a pass of Brandon early in the game, and the doctors were able to reset it, and he was able to return to activity, but I think that he was struggling to catch the ball just because of the soreness of popping a finger out of joint. I think he'll be all right this week. And outside of that, I think we're pretty good. We've been pretty fortunate, knock on wood, health-wise, and I think a lot of that goes to our conditioning and off-season training.
Of course, you finally we saw the Orange. You had the field goal from Sam Perino. You really hadn't had too many field goal opportunities. How are you feeling with your kicking game? We saw Brandon have that one punt attempt in the Ben Davis game, but pretty much Sam a little shaky to begin with Plainfield, but as the season's gone, he seems to have progressed pretty well.
Yeah, I think Sam's coming along fine. His problem is he's a soccer player as well, so when he comes to practice, we've got to be pretty quick to get him his kicking reps, along with whatever unit he's working with that day, to make sure we get solid reps. And I think at times, we're rushed so much so he can get on to his soccer practice, and sometimes it may affect him. But I think he's growing more accustomed to what he does.
That is the head coach of the Avon Orioles, Coach Mark Bless, as the Orioles return to Hendricks Regional Health Field to play their longtime rival, the Brownsburg Bulldogs. We'll have the pregame show right here on Audio Sports Online, and, of course, it's also game night in Hendricks County as XRBRadio.com's Game of the Week. Pregame show will be at 7:30. Kickoff is set for 8 o'clock from Hendricks Regional Health Field. Coach, good luck this week against Brownsburg.
Thank you, Brian.
You've been listening to the Mark Bless Show on Audio Sports Online. Tonight's show has been brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling, Citywide Paving, Changes Home Care, and Avon Dental Care. Tune in next week when we once again talk to the head coach of the Avon Orioles, Coach Mark Bless. The Mark Bless Show is an AudioSportsOnline.com production.
Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 286-3500 for free delivery to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Specialty pizzas, calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, all made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. Not to mention Panuni's jumbo wings. Just tell them you heard about it from XRB and get 10% off of your order. Check out their Facebook page for specials. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Locally owned Panuni's Pizza and Wings on 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg.
Running out of space? Tired of the clutter, but don't want to part with your possessions? We have a solution for that at Northfield Self Storage in Brownsburg. Whether you need a little extra storage or a larger space, our storage units ranging from 5x10 to 10x30 will surely take care of your needs. We also carry packing supplies such as boxes, tape, bubble wrap, and a whole lot more. Come see Northfield Self Storage and U-Haul at 1530 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg, open 7 days a week.
If you're a business owner, with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech. Come visit Blue River Pharmacy, the local independent pharmacy in Hendricks County. When you choose Blue River Pharmacy as your partner in health and wellness, you will enjoy all of the traditional services of a chain pharmacy, plus so much more. Blue River Pharmacy takes time to truly care for and listen to learn our patients' needs. We accept most insurance plans and offer competitive pricing. Whether you need a prescription filled quickly, medical equipment, unique over-the-counter items, or medication management options, Blue River Pharmacy is your local friendly choice. And we offer free delivery. Stop by our Brownsburg location at 680 East 56th Street in the shops at Brownsburg today and choose Blue River Pharmacy.
It is time for Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and ASO. Tonight's game is brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Avon Dental Center, Changes Home Care, Red Cobra Wrestling, Citywide Paving, Westside Plumbing, Panuni's Pizza and Wings, Blue River Pharmacy, Northfield Storage, Ivy Tech, and the Payroll Department Incorporated. Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and ASO is an audiosportsonline.com production. Good evening, everybody. It is rivalry week here in central Indiana and pretty much throughout the state. And we have one of the biggest rivalries that you will find in central Indiana tonight as the Brownsburg Bulldogs have come to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium to take on the 12th-ranked Avon Orioles tonight on Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and ASO. My name's Brian Scott. So glad you could join us tonight. I'll be joined by my broadcast partner, the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, in just a moment. Both these teams come into tonight's game with a bit of a different agendas, I believe, on each side. For the Brownsburg Bulldogs, they finally got off the schneid. They had lost 8 in a row going into last season. Matter of fact, you have to go all the way back to the matchup with the Orioles in the regular season of last year before Brownsburg got a win. They did that on Saturday when they took on Franklin team, the Grizzly Cubs, and both teams had delays on Friday night. There was inclement weather in and around all of central Indiana, and while the Avon Orioles had a 2-hour delay that delayed kickoff till 9 o'clock, the Bulldogs, they had more of a 15-hour delay. They didn't play till Saturday morning. For the Brownsburg Bulldogs, well, they pretty much rolled out of bed and rolled straight into the end zone when they woke up on Saturday. They scored 27 first-quarter points en route to a 68-7 drubbing of the Grizzly Cubs as Hunter Johnson hooked up early and often in that first half, and by the second half it was really no contest, and head coach Brett Comer of the Bulldogs was using a lot of his second-teamers in that contest. When all was said and done, it was the Bulldogs' Hunter Johnson finishing 9 of 22 for 171 yards. He threw 3 touchdown passes. He was picked off twice in that game. He had touchdowns from Toczak and Rabati, their senior tailback that will be going to Iowa next year. Joey Sturgill picked up a pair of touchdowns in the second half of that game, and Cameron Martin and Hunter Johnson himself also picked up rushing touchdowns. Meanwhile, it was Tyler Kurtz on the receiving end of a pair of Hunter Johnson touchdown passes Saturday, while Ray White picked up one himself. The offense was really rolling for head coach Brett Comer's Bulldogs, but they also were helped out quite a bit by Franklin Central's rather proclivity of putting the football on the field. They had 16 fumbles in that game. They gave up 8 of them, and the Bulldogs also had a pass interception in that contest. They ran a fumble recovery for a touchdown as well. So it was a very sleepy day for the Grizzly Cubs as they came back to Brownsburg Saturday morning, and the Bulldogs took advantage of it. posting their first win since last year. Meanwhile, for the Avon Orioles, they went to Hamilton Southeastern last week to play their first Hoosier Crossroads Conference game of the year. And as good as the Bulldogs were rolling out of bed and rolling into the end zone, the 2-hour delay in Fishers pretty much turned into a way of the Orioles not being able to really get in sync all night long. The 2-hour delay pretty much was as Coach Mark Bless would say, that was really a killer, that the Orioles never seemed to come out of the locker room and get in sync, especially in that first half. However, they did come back in the second half, and when all was said and done, was about a little less than 6 minutes left in the game, Avon had an 18-10 lead. But Hamilton Southeastern had a drive there at the end. They were helped out by a couple of pass interference penalties. They got the 2-point conversion to tie the game, and after the ensuing kickoff, they got a strip of Brandon Peters, and they turned it into a 37-yard field goal, which was eventually the game winner, as the Orioles have now dropped 2 straight as they head back here to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium tonight to take on the Brownsburg Bulldogs. It was a very un-Brandon Peters-like night, if you would to look at the stats. 11 of 27 for only 155 yards. He did have 1 touchdown pass. Rushing the ball, that was really a problem for the Orioles all night long. They finished with 38 yards rushing. However, Corey DePriest did have 60 yards, but when you mark in all the sacks and everything else, it was just a very, very bad night for the Orioles rushing the football. And Matt Moore was really the lone receiver that Brandon Peters was able to get in sync with. He had 6 catches for 65 yards and the 1 touchdown reception. And I bring in the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne as we get ready for game night here in Hendricks County. A big rivalry game. Both these teams still have a lot to prove. We've watched Avon now for the past 2 weeks. At Ben Davis, the story was Ben Davis bringing more bodies than Avon could block, pressuring Brandon, and eventually that led to the interception that cost the Orioles the game. Last week, it was more of the front 7 of Hamilton Southeastern doing their damage, allowing their secondary to really clamp down on the Oriole receivers.
Well, it was different philosophies. When I was the head coach, Southeastern was always a tough team to prepare for because they're not so confusing. You know where they're going to be, but they just do the things they do so well. They line up, they play hard, they pressure the passer with their front 3 or 4. They're generally what we would call a coverage team, so they're going to be very patient. They're going to allow you to complete a pass or 2. They're going to pressure you on occasion. But what Hamilton Southeastern style is they're going to make you execute to beat them. And for whatever reason last week, Avon had a little bit trouble executing, their offense the way they had the first 2 games. Southeastern played a very good game. You could already tell. First couple of plays, they blitzed, and, we didn't pick it up very well and, put us in a little bit of trouble. I thought, as you mentioned, that Avon had settled down a little bit at the end of the 3rd quarter and the start of the 4th quarter. They did the things they needed to do. They were real patient, put together some long drives, nickel and dimed a little bit, threw underneath the coverage, ran the football a little bit. When they had the 18-10 lead there at the end of the game, I thought it was going to end up being enough to pull out the victory, even on a night when they weren't playing their best. But, hats off to Hamilton Southeastern. They kept their composure. They made plays down the stretch when they needed to. And, they had a 4th down play at the end and came up with the completion and went for 2. As we talked off the air on a very close 2-point call at the goal line, they did come up with the 2. And in a game that, after that score, when it went 18-18, I think about 99% of us sitting in the stands thought it was going to go to overtime. And they, beat the pressure and got in there and blindsided Brandon, put the ball on the ground. And their kicker came in and very coolly and calmly kicked the 38-yard field goal there right at the end of the game to win. So, that's one of those games. If I were a bet man, I'd say that Avon would win that game 7 out of 8 nights. But unfortunately, it was one of the 2 or 3 that, Southeastern just made a few more plays than Avon.
The Brownsburg Bulldogs, again, as I mentioned, they snapped an 8-game losing streak last week when they defeated Franklin 68-7. For the Bulldogs, it's been a little bit of an evolution in their offense. As a traditional Brett Comer offense, as most Bulldog fans have known over the past 4 or 5 seasons, really since he took over the helm of the Bulldogs, has been that flex bone offense. But with a very talented quarterback, Hunter Johnson, who is a junior this year, and he has just recently announced that he will be playing for Butch Davis in the University of Tennessee once he completes his football here at Brownsburg. The Brownsburg offense has been a little bit of an evolution. When we look at everything, it'll still look like the flex bone. They still have the same setup as far as the wing back notations and all that. But, Coach, it is an evolution much like what Mark Bless has done with Brandon Peters in this Oriole offense, going from an I-back to more of a spread look. We expect to see Brownsburg not quite so much with Hunter Johnson under center and those tight wings, but spreading things out a little bit more.
Well, you know, when you have those special talents, and both teams certainly have them, you know, at quarterback with, Brandon Peters and Hunter Johnson, you have to evolve a little bit. And what you want to do is get the ball into the hands of your best players, your playmakers, so that they can make plays. And, you know, both of these kids have proven here over the last couple of years that they're certainly capable of, helping their team put some points up on the board. So, you know, I would expect that we're going to see, you know, the ball in the air here quite a bit tonight. Probably, if I were, again, guessing, a lot of points put up on the board, and I'm sure it'll be an entertaining game for the fans.
This game's getting a lot of national attention tonight, and mainly because of the amount of blue-chip talent that is already committed on this field. When you look at the Brownsburg Bulldogs on offense, I just mentioned Hunter Johnson is committed to go to the University of Tennessee. Their fine senior running back, Toxak and Rabati, will be going to Iowa, and their wide receiver, Tyler Kurtz, he will be going to Ball State. Meanwhile, you've got the Avon Orioles. You've got both Brandon Peters and Andrew Griffin both committed to play at the next level. We're already hearing talk about Brian Fitzgerald getting an offer from IU. Matt Thompson is getting some serious look. So with two schools that are only 8 miles apart, there is a lot of national talent, or nationally recognized talent, on this field tonight. We have one whale of a crowd here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. The stands here on the Avon sideline, they are packed to the gills. If you look across the way, you will see plenty of Brownsburg faithful in the stands as well. Coach mentioned this could be a very high-scoring game, and as the evolution of the Brownsburg offense has been to move a little bit more into a shotgun, spread them out a little bit, the one thing that used to be always a given for the Bulldogs would be their defense. Coach, they come in to tonight, and that's not something that's been very good for them. They've given up 127 points, and when you consider they only gave up 7 points last week to Franklin, their defense has really been an issue for head coach Brett Comer and the Bulldogs.
It has, and, I used to coach against Coach Comer, and he's an outstanding coach and, really, really known for his defense, and, I'm sure that's that's something that they've spent a lot of time trying to correct. It looks like they've gone to a 4-3 look, and they've been a little bit of a 50. So I think Coach Comer's probably got his thumb back in the mix there a little bit more, and I think they're going to go back and just try to be fundamentally sound, and again try to do the things that Brownsburg traditionally has been known for defensively. And you mentioned their offense. Give a little shout out here to my buddy Josh Yoder, who's the offensive coordinator at Brownsburg. There's a lot of pressure when you're coaching the caliber of quarterbacks that both these teams have, and for them to be able to come in at least so far every week and put the points up on the board that everybody sitting in the stands expect. That's a hat off to Coach Yoder and Coach Moore at Avon for being able to take these special talents and create ways to be able to take advantage of their abilities.
For the Brownsburg Bulldogs, this will be their big test so far of the early season. They lost their first 2 games of the season, again stretching their losing streak to 8. They lost to Pike 55-34 to start the season, and then they fell to a Lawrence North team that I think a lot of people thought Brownsburg might be able to get that victory against, but it was the Bulldogs falling 65-47 before picking up the victory last week against Franklin. Meanwhile, for Avon, they are 1-2 as well. They suffered their loss in HCC play last week. And for the Avon Orioles, well, you take the 2 losses. They're against top 20 teams in the state of Indiana. They fell 2 weeks ago to then number 1 Ben Davis at the final 2 minutes of that contest. They lose to Hamilton Southeastern last week in the final 30 seconds of that contest. So 2 gut-busting losses in the past 2 weeks. You know the Orioles are out here and they are ready to play against their longtime rival as we get ready for tonight's contest. Let's give you the particulars for this game. The head coach of the Brownsburg Bulldogs is Brett Comer. He is 53-46 in his 10th year at the helm of the Bulldogs. Brownsburg comes into tonight 1-2, and this is their HCC opener. For the Avon Orioles, they are ranked 12th in Class 6A coming into this week. The head coach, Mark Bless, 41-20 in his 6th year at the helm of the Avon Orioles, and 190-87 in his 26th season overall. The Orioles are 1-2 on the year. They are 0-1 in HCC play. If you take a look at this matchup over the last 18 years or 20 years or so, it's actually 30 years. Avon is 18-14 in this matchup. And head coach Mark Bless of the Avon Orioles, he is 5-2 against the Bulldogs as head coach of Avon. And Avon is 2-1 against a Hunter Johnson-led Bulldogs team. So a lot of stuff going on tonight, a lot of great talent that'll be on the field tonight. And we're glad you're joining us tonight. Be it on xrbradio.com is our game night in Hendricks County featured game of the week, or via Audio Sports Online. It should be a great night for football. No threat of lightning like we had last week. Rain that was present through Hendricks County, for most of the day has moved on out. It's a pleasant night, a little bit of a breeze coming in from the north. But it is dry. It is going to be very, very fall-like, not like the 90-degree temperatures we started out last Friday in. So we are expecting a great night of football, a fantastic atmosphere, and hopefully these two teams will put on one whale of a show for us as we get ready for football here from Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. As I mentioned, it's an absolutely gorgeous night for football. Temperatures are in probably the low 60s before this game is over with. When all is said and done, probably close to 10:30, 11 o'clock, much like we were last week at Hamilton Southeastern. Hopefully not quite that late. That was 11:30 game last week, but it will be a late night here with the 8 o'clock kickoff. We do note one change. One of the problems the Orioles have had the past couple of weeks has come on special teams, and it's been turnovers in the punt return game. For the second consecutive week, the Orioles had a fumbled or a muff punt that led to a turnover and eventually a Hamilton Southeastern putting points on the board. This week, we're going to notice a little bit of a difference, as it will be Bryant Fitzgerald and Matt Moore taking the punts for the Orioles in this contest. Bryant Fitzgerald, he's fielded punts before, and he is definitely a player that can provide some excitement in the punt return game. But should Brownsburg decide to go away from him, well, they're going to kick it into the hands of a very, very capable Matt Moore, who's got probably some of the best hands on the team. And once big Matt Moore gets rumbling down the field, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of people that want to get in front of him. So the Orioles will kick this ball away to begin the game. Sam Perino will kick it off. And back deep will be Vincent Lisman and Toksak and Rabati as we are waiting. Again, this game is getting national attention. If you haven't heard already, ESPN is here tonight. And we are going to probably get our lot of media timeouts and a lot of time to kill in between things. So if you see me stammering or hear me stammering, we're waiting for the big mothership to come back and rejoin us. We're ready for football here from Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. We hope you are too. It's the Bulldogs and the Orioles on xrbradio.com and ASO. Perino puts a foot into it, and he'll kick it deep. Lisman will take it in the end zone. That will be a touchback. And no, they didn't call it. I thought the referee, he called for the touchback, and they let him run it out.
Actually, I think he was signaling to start the clock.
Well, it looked like he had a foot in the end zone, but they will let him run it out, and in the end, it is a great return by Vincent Lisman of the Bulldogs, and they will have it 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line, and it is Hunter Johnson that will lead the Bulldogs out, and again, they will run out of what looks more often than not a spread look. So Johnson, now check over to the sideline. Johnson on the season has thrown for 880 yards, 12 touchdowns. He has 6 interceptions. He's throwing for over 293 yards a game. His first pass is complete to Tyler Kurtz here on the near sideline. Scott Campbell will push him out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of close to about 6-7 yards. Let's quickly give you the Brownsburg Bulldogs offense. The offensive line has Devin Humus, Patrick Strine, Mark Miller, Matt Runyon, and Brayton Runyon. The wideouts are Cameron Martin and Vincent Lisman. Tyler Kurtz and Ray White are also as wideouts. As the give is to Toksak and Rabati. He'll take it right up the middle, and he will bowl over the 45, close to the 48-yard line, and be a first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, great start for Brownsburg. The first play, it looked like they were kind of reading coverage a little bit. He ran a little stop route. This time just a little inside zone right at the middle of the Avon defense for a big gain.
1st and 10, ball spotted at the 47. The give is to Akinrabadi. He bounces it outside, and he's going to be tackled on a nice play.
Matt Thompson.
Is Matt Thompson. Thompson on the season, 29 tackles, make that 30. I mentioned Akinrabadi. With this more pass-happy Brownsburg offense, he's only had 269 yards in 3 games. He does have 4 touchdowns, averaging about 89 yards a game. 2nd and 6, Brownsburg back to pass as Johnson fires left side, passes complete to Tyler Kurtz. Kurtz will have it in Oriole territory at about the 45-yard line, a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Yeah, a lot of respect for Kurtz out here. They're playing off of him on the outside right now. Brownsburg is smart enough just to be patient, take the little underneath route. Again, as every week, it'll be a little bit of a guessing game.
3rd and 2, the give is to Akinrabadi. He'll take it over the left side. Thompson will bring him down, but not before Akinrabadi picks up the first down to the Oriole 39. Let's set up the Oriole defense. Across the front line, Timmy Osho, C.J. Hunt, and A.J. Elcock. The linebackers are Brody Good, Levi Hawk, and Matt Thompson. The corners are Ian Pendleton and Scott Campbell, and the safeties are Chad Carmichael, Lance Meyer, and Bryant Fitzgerald. 1st and 10, Brownsburg back to pass. Johnson fires over to the left, looking for Vincent Lisman. Pass is incomplete. Thompson in coverage. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I'd say right now I'm very impressed with Brownsburg's offensive line. I mean, going into the game, I thought the difference might be that the offenses were both pretty explosive. And you'd mentioned earlier, I thought that Avon might have the advantage defensively, but right now Brownsburg's offensive line is doing very well.
Here's Akinrabadi, and he's going nowhere. He might gain a yard just by that big body going forward. But C.J. Hunt, the nose guard, 6'2", 245 junior, brings him down after a gain of only a yard. That'll bring up 3rd and long for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, there's a big play here, and this is where the big play people usually come through. It's 3rd and long. This is, one of those situations where you always look to your big-time quarterback to come through for you.
Johnson's pass over the middle, pass incomplete. Flags not forthcoming as the intended receiver was the 5'11", 150-pound junior Cameron Martin. Martin felt like he was interfered with, but no flags.
I was going to say, if you're the defensive team, you're just saying that it was very aggressive defense. If you're the offensive team, it looked like he grabbed them, and you're wanting a flag.
So Johnson and the offense will remain on the field on this 4th down play.
Look for a quick kick.
And Johnson will kick it quickly. He'll pooch it over the middle or the defense, and it will be down inside the 5-yard line on a fine recovery right there. And the Avon Orioles will go on offense for the first time tonight with 10:28 remaining in this first quarter of play of a scoreless game. Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Bringing out the offense is the 6'5", 210-pound senior Brandon Peters. As Peters on the season has thrown for 792 yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had been averaging pretty healthy numbers through the air, but last week's game against Hamilton Southeastern dropped those a bit, and the Orioles will immediately start in a 4-wide look. 1st and 10, ball at the 7-yard line for Avon, their first drive of the contest. Bulldogs show blitz from the outside. And the give is to Darian Love, who is going to get the start at tailback to begin this game. And while we got a moment, let's give you the starting lineup for the Orioles. Across the front line, Nick Shoemaker, Ben Wilson, Ryan Dickinson, DJ Bowles, and Addison Batten. The tight end is Matt Moore. Andrew Griffin is the flanker. The wideouts are Harrison Weber and Jordan Peterson, who had that dislocated finger in the first half of the Southeastern game. He is back for this one. Darian Love will get the start at tailback, and Brandon Peters is the quarterback. It'll be 2nd down and 6, ball at the Bulldog 11-yard line.
I can tell you right now, Avon's going deep here early in the game. Brownsburg's playing them up awfully tight and just daring them to throw behind them.
Play action. Peters keeps it, tries to cut it back. He won't get very much yardage at all. Tried to do a little bit of a counter action, fake the handoff to Love, go the other way. It was well defended by the Bulldogs. He tried to cut it his field of direction, but it's a little to no gain on the play. It'll make it 3rd and about 5.
Yeah, both these kids are just outstanding athletes from athletic families. You know, Cole Johnson, Hunter's older brother, playing for my alma mater up at Northwestern, and Hunter's an outstanding basketball and track athlete, you know, can just do a lot of things, and Brandon does the same things, and you've got Brooke Peters playing volleyball up at Purdue. So great families, very athletic families as well.
Peters backs to pass. He's got Weber on the near side, eludes one tackle, and will take it up to the 20. It'll be a first down for Brownsburg.
For Avon. That's Jordan Peterson.
Or Jordan Peterson, pardon me, as it was Jordan Peterson with the catch. Again, he dislocated a finger on a pass we thought last week. We wondered why he didn't catch it. He had it right in the fingers. Well, we learned later he had a dislocated finger. They popped it back in at halftime, but they kept him out the second half. It was Drew Pankey-Wallace that played the second half against Southeastern. 1st and 10 for the Orioles at their own 19-yard line. 8:45 and counting in the scoreless fourth quarter. Peters back to pass, has it man open at the 50 to the 40. Andrew Griffin, and that's all she wrote. An 81-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Peters to Andrew Griffin, and just like that, the Orioles take the lead.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm sitting up in the box, and it's a lot easier to see things from here, but, you know, they were just playing so tight. I mean, they're just daring them to go deep, and when you've got a receiver like Griffin that can run like he can run, and somebody who can throw the ball like Brandon, they gave him plenty of time. I mean, it was just a go route. They were up playing bump and run, and, you know, again, I mean, it was just there for the taking.
Sam Perino on to kick the point after as the Orioles are on the scoreboard with 8 minutes and 31 seconds thanks to the deep ball.
And a 95-yard or 94-yard drive.
Perino's kick is good. 8:31 in the opening quarter. The Orioles lead the Bulldogs 7-0. Back with a kick in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and ASO.
Changes Home Care is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcast. Changes Home Care assists the elderly in staying independent in the comfort of their own home as long as possible. They assist individuals with bathing, dressing, transportation, medication reminders, light housekeeping, companionship, and much more. Their office is on Shiloh Professional Drive in Avon. Changes Home Care serves Hendricks and Marion County as well as all of the surrounding counties. Their services are available 24/7, 365 days a year. For a consultation appointment, call area code 317-271-3800. That's area code 317-271-3800. Changes Home Care in Avon.
McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
Brandon Peters to Andrew Griffin, 81 yards, and that is how the Avon Orioles have their first drive recorded in the books. They have a 7-0 lead against the Brownsburg Bulldogs. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Coach Shelbourne called it. You heard it about 3 plays earlier. He said they were going to go over the top and they were going to try to hit it big. They did that as Brandon Peters, and he stood in there and took a pretty good hit on that play, but he laid it right over the outstretched hands of Andrew Griffin and hit him in stride, and Andrew did the rest.
I mean, it's a combination that, you know, people in Avon have seen for years. You know, I had these 2 as 7th graders, and I was fortunate enough to coach Hunter Johnson the following year when he was a 7th grader. And, you know, you could see at that age that they were just both very, very talented young men.
Lisbon will take it at the 1. He's up to the 15 to the 20. And he will be spun down and finally gang tackled at the 23-yard line. And the Bulldogs, who started their drive off fairly well to begin the opening drive of the contest, they found things a little more tough going once they got into Avon territory. They'll have their second drive of the game. This time they're going to be down by 7 with 8:23 left to go in this first quarter, and they'll start it at their own 23-yard line as Johnson and the offense back out onto the field. 4 wideouts, 2 to each side of the field. High snap, gives it to Akinrabadi. Akinrabadi, he finds a hole, and he'll get past Campbell. Akinrabadi down the near sideline to the 40. He'll try to make a cut, and coming in to finally make the tackle was Lance Meyer, but not before Akinrabadi takes it all the way down into Avon territory. They'll spot him out at, let's say, about the 34-yard line, a huge pickup of over 50 yards.
Well, there's a reason why he's going to Iowa next year. I mean, he's just a quality running back. He runs hard, and he's fast.
1st and 10 that gives to Akinrabadi. Again, he'll plow up the middle, and this time a lot more traffic right there in the middle of the line, but he will still pick up about a yard, making it 2nd down and 9 from the Oriole 33-yard line.
Well, you mentioned earlier, I mean, they've got 3 great weapons. You know, their receivers as good as you're going to find. Obviously, Hunter's just a fabulous quarterback, and with Akinrabadi, I actually got it out as a running back. You know, you've got multi-dimensional.
Johnson, he throws it up, and the Bulldogs answer right back. Tyler Kurtz from Hunter Johnson from 32 yards out. And we kind of thought this might be the case in this game. One long bomb deserves another. This one not quite as long, but it's Johnson to Kurtz, and the Bulldogs are on the board.
Yeah, well, you think we'd have learned our lesson from looking on the other side. I mean, you know, they've got some big-time people, too, and there's a reason why they're scoring a lot of points. And you know, so similar to what Brandon did. I mean, you can't throw that ball any better than what Hunter Johnson just did on that route. And yes, he was open, and yes, he got behind, but, you know, he's still got to put the ball on the money, and he sure did that.
Devin Steinman will kick it through, and with 7:41 left on the clock, a drive that took less than 40 seconds, the Bulldogs have tied this game up at 7. Back with a kickoff after this. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Avon Dental Center is a proud sponsor of Avon High School sports broadcast. Dr. Timothy Greer and Dr. Christopher LaFave have served Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. Avon Dental Center offers high-tech dentistry that includes dental implants, orthodontics, and one-appointment crowns. At Avon Dental Center, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. You can get more information at avondentalcenter.com or call for an appointment at 272-8100. Avon Dental Center.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
Well, it only took about 4 plays, and the Brownsburg Bulldogs connect on a 32-yard touchdown pass from Hunter Johnson to Tyler Kurtz. The Devin Steinman point after is good, and with 7:41 left to go in the opening quarter, we are tied at 7 here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium alongside Dave Shelbourne. I'm Brian Scott. We thought this might be a bit of a shootout. 2 talented quarterbacks. Again, it's one of the reasons why this game is getting national exposure tonight. Both quarterbacks showing their stuff early in this contest, but still a lot of football left to be played.
There is, and right now I think the thing that's really impressed me with Brownsburg has been their offensive line. They've controlled things, so they've gotten a running game going here a little bit, and really, at least up until this point, I know we're only, a little over 4 minutes into the game, but, Brownsburg has run a lot of offensive plays, and they haven't gotten anywhere near Hunter Johnson. So right now I'm very impressed with their offensive line. Avon's offensive line pretty similarly has given, Brandon a lot of time to throw. I'm a little bit surprised that really both teams are playing up as tight as they are, knowing that the receivers can flat out run. You've got, and the big time kids have done it. Kurtz and Griffin, and the quarterbacks can throw the ball. Probably the length of the football field beyond the money. So, it'll be interesting to see if they don't back off a little bit and try to make the quarterbacks be a little bit more patient.
Steinman kicks it off. It'll be received by Corey DePriest at the 9 to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Corey has one man to beat. It was the kicker, and Steinman is able to bring Corey DePriest down, but a fine return by Corey DePriest into Bulldogs territory at about the 44-yard line.
And really extremely well blocked. I mean, he didn't even have anybody from Brownsburg lay a hand on him until he was past midfield. So well executed, well timed, well blocked by the front people in that wedge for Avon on the return.
So the Orioles get the big play on the kickoff return. They get it into Bulldogs territory. They spot the ball at the 43-yard line as Brandon Peters brings the offense out 3 wides with 2 to the top of the formation. This is DePriest as the tailback. Bulldogs show up a lot of men in the box, and the give is to DePriest. He'll take it right up the middle, and he'll gain very, very little as he's met right there, and probably by Anthony Citarelli, and it's going to be a short game. Let's quickly give you the Bulldogs defense. We really didn't get a chance on that with the Orioles scoring as quick as they did. Across the defensive line, it's Isaac McCormick, Anthony Citarelli, Ricky Clark, Tristan Patterson-Gage. The linebackers are Oliver Lassou, Nathan Walton, and Storm Garnett. The corners are Jalen Keith and Kanian Brown. And the safeties are Antonio Baker and Sam Hoffa. 2nd down and 10. No gain for DePriest and the Orioles. Ball remains at the 43-yard line. Under 7 minutes left to play opening quarter. Brandon back to pass. He'll lay it up. This time he is facing Harrison Weber. And this time they're going to get interference as Weber was one-on-one against Kanian Brown. And Brown had a good hold of Weber's jersey all the way down. A very, very easy call. And this should be pass interference against the Bulldogs.
And I will tell you, we've only seen 2 plays here, but Brownsburg hasn't changed their style at all. Even though they got beat earlier, I thought maybe they'd back off a little bit. They are still up right on the line of scrimmage playing Avon's wide receivers man for man. Coach Moore, and I'm sure the coaches up on top can see that. And, if they continue to play that way, I'm sure you're going to see Avon going deep here, 5 to 10 times tonight because, that's just what they're giving you in that defense.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty and a first down for the Orioles as when they finish marching this one off, it'll be inside the Brownsburg 30. They'll spot the ball at the 28-yard line, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Avon Orioles. Tied at 7, 6:49 left to go in this opening quarter. DePriest remains the lone tailback. Weber is to the near side. Peterson and Griffin, with Griffin in the slot to the left. Brandon back to pass. Pressure comes. He'll step up. He'll elude one man. Looks downfield. Passes open. There's Matt Moore. Matt Moore will take it down the sideline. Penalty flag comes in very, very late as Nathan Walton was among those there.
I think they've got an offensive lineman downfield too early.
We will await the officials' decision. A good job by Brandon Peters to elude the rush, and an ineligible man downfield is indeed the call against the Avon Orioles. Peters did a good job to elude the pressure. He rolled to the near side. Coverage was good downfield. He found Matt Moore wide open, but as Coach mentioned, with that much time, it was probably inevitable that one of those linemen, they leak a little bit downfield.
I really think that might be. I mean, he's got the rocket arm, but Brandon Peters just has a knack for avoiding the rush. I mean, he should have been sacked, and he made it look so easy. Just stepped a little bit away from it, got to the right, found a wide open Matt Moore, and made the completion.
DePriest is still the lone tailback. Peters back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Now pressure comes. Ball's loose. Fumbled from behind, and the Brownsburg Bulldogs have fallen on it.
Hung on a little bit too long that time because the coverage obviously was very, very good. In a situation like that, you've got to get rid of the football or just tuck it away and run. But again, credit to Brownsburg's coverage, because really that was more what I would call a coverage sack, because they covered so well that it gave the linemen a little bit more time to rush, and, they came away with the turnover.
Anthony Ciccarelli came away with the fumble. I believe Isaac McCormick stripped the ball loose from Peters, and the first turnover of the game goes to Brownsburg, as they will have it 1st and 10 from their own 36, as Akinrabate will run over the right side and pick up almost 10 yards. He'll be about a half a yard shy, but it will make it 2nd down and short for Brownsburg.
Yeah, my surprise of the night, at least so far, is Brownsburg's ability to run inside against Avon's front. I've complimented them all year. They've done a really nice job, but, right now they're just really attacking them at will.
Akinrabate once again the ball carrier, and he'll take it into Avon territory inside the 52, about the 48-yard line, where Brownsburg will have it 1st down and 10 with 5:55 left to go in the opening quarter in a 7-7 game. 4 wideouts, 2 to each side of the formation. Johnson back to pass. Little switch out, quick out here to the left side. That's Vincent Lisman. He's run out of bounds by Brian Fitzgerald after a pickup of about 6 yards on the play, down to the Avon 43-yard line.
And Brownsburg right now is getting in a rhythm. They're getting up and down. They're getting up to the line of scrimmage. They're getting the plays in as quickly as they can, and right now they're on a nice little roll.
2nd down and 4. They give us to Akinrabate. He finds a big hole over the left side. Ball's loose, but it looks like falling on it might have been Tyler Kurtz. It was Tyler Kurtz. That ball came loose as Akinrabate had it poked out from behind, but there was Tyler Kurtz to fall on it to keep it for the Bulldogs, and in the end it turns into a 1st down as the ball will be spotted at the Avon 33-yard line.
Yeah, Brownsburg's offensive line is just really coming off the ball right now, and Avon's struggling to handle the line of scrimmage.
Johnson back to pass. Good protection. Fires over the middle. Ball is tipped. As up there to make the big tip for Brownsburg was Zach Batustik. He knocked that ball up. Had a chance to possibly be intercepted. Brian Fitzgerald and Lance Meyer were both in the vicinity, but it falls to the turf. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, trying to run a little seam route. They had a guy running right down the middle and might have had him if the ball hadn't been tipped. But again, right now Avon's having trouble getting to the quarterback.
3-man rush, play action. They get it to Lisman. Lisman breaks a tackle to the 20, to the 15, and he'll finally be run out of bounds over on the near side by Bryant Fitzgerald. It broke the first tackle, and Lisman has it deep in Oriole territory. They'll spot him out at about the 14-yard line.
Yeah, as it stands right now, Avon really doesn't have an answer for what they're doing, and they're doing it so quickly they're not having time to make any adjustments.
1st and 10, Brownsburg. Johnson, play action, fires, finds Lisman. Lisman stuck immediately, but not before he picks up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. Coming up was Chad Carmichael.
Yeah, Kurtz pulled up lame here.
And Kurtz is down at about the 13-yard line, and he is not looking very good. And while they check out the young man on the field, we will take a timeout with 5:04 left to go, opening quarter. We are tied at 7 at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. This is game night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Plumbing problems? Yeah, we all get them from time to time, but what if we could avoid the problem? That's what your local Hendricks County hometown company, Westside Plumbing, is here for. At Westside Plumbing, we're dedicated to teaching you about your plumbing problems and helping you maintain your pipes to avoid the big, often messy and expensive problems that could occur. Sometimes Westside Plumbing can even help you fix your plumbing problem right over the phone. Save time and money. Call Westside Plumbing today at 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. 445-8399.
Tyler Kurtz is walking ever so gingerly over toward the Brownsburg sideline, being steadied on each side as he was writhing in some pain over here on the near sideline, and he's walking a little better than he started.
Yeah, I think he actually just got stepped on, when he was blocking, I think kind of in the mess down there. I think somebody stepped on his leg.
So he is still walking gingerly toward the Bulldog sideline while Brownsburg is lined up to run this second down and about 4 from the Oriole 8-yard line. We're tied at 7 with 5:04 left to go in this first quarter. And now they'll wind the clock as play resumes. And now we have penalty flags fly as the Bulldogs will be called for a false start, and they'll push them back 5 yards.
It'll be interesting here, at least on that last play. Avon is up playing a real tough bump and run. Normally down here, you'll see what we call a smash route, where the inside or slot receiver runs a little corner route, runs for the pylon in the back of the end zone. And, you know, right now in the coverage that Avon's in, I think that's where I'd be going.
As the Bulldogs have been in 2 to each side, they give us to Akin Rabadi, and he is brought down almost immediately. Brody Good, one of the first Orioles there to bring him down. It'll be a gain of maybe a half yard at best. They'll spot the ball at about the Oriole 12-yard line. That'll bring up third down. They can get a first down, but they'll have to get to the Orioles 4-yard line, so make it 3rd and 7. Johnson back to pass. Fires over and overthrows the intended receiver. He was looking on that far side of the field, and I believe he was looking for Ray White. And Andrew Griffin, who was in coverage that time, had good one-on-one coverage, but the pass was high, and that's going to bring up a field goal attempt for Devin Steinman.
Yeah, what Andrew did down there a little bit, when you're in man-to-man, what you try to do as a defender is just kind of disrupt the rhythm a little bit. You know, you want it to be a timing route, but when you're playing that bump and run coverage, you're going to disrupt the timing a little bit, and that's what happened.
28-yard field goal attempt by Devin Steinman as the right-footed kicker. You'll have Kyle Strakus, the backup quarterback, hold. The kick is up, and he missed it. Missed it wide right. And the Bulldogs, who got a couple of big plays and marched it down the field, will come up empty. And with 4:26 left to go in this first quarter, we remain tied at 7. Back in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at RedCobraWrestlingAcademy.com. We'd like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year.
First turnover of the game as Brandon Peters fumble. Eventually, it doesn't hurt the Orioles as Brownsburg is unable to score. They miss on a 28-yard field goal attempt, and the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20, with the clock showing 4:26 left to go in this first quarter of play. Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Both teams have had big plays in this game. It was a long touchdown pass of 81 yards from Brandon Peters to Andrew Griffin to start the scoring in this contest. But coming right back were the Bulldogs as Hunter Johnson hit Tyler Kurtz on a 32-yard touchdown pass. That is where we stand with still 4 minutes and 26 seconds left to play in this first quarter.
Yeah, very, very explosive first couple of minutes here. I think the difference that I've seen so far is that Brownsburg has run the ball very, very well, and Avon has yet to establish the run. You know, both quarterbacks have hit the big plays for touchdown. It doesn't appear that Brownsburg is changing their style of defense, so I would look for Avon, you know, while they're trying to run, still to be able to try to hit those home runs if they're going to continue to play up this close. I think that's, you know, what they're going to do.
3 wideouts for the Orioles, one to the near side. That's Andrew Griffin. It is Darian Love, the lone tailback to the left of Peters out of the gun. 7-7, that's our score. 4:26 left to go first quarter. Bulldogs show blitz from the outside. Here they come. Picked up nicely, and there's Matt Moore right over the middle to the 30, to the 35, and to the 37-yard line. The Bulldogs show blitz, and the Orioles burn them.
Well, Matt Moore's a tough matchup, whether you're in man-to-man or zone. I mean, he's a nightmare in zone inside because he's such a big, tall, athletic tight end inside, and man-to-man, I mean, for a tight end, he can really run. But, you know, a lot of touch on that throw, great fake first down play, and, you know, Brandon threw that ball in there, you know, with the zip on it that he needed. He took a little bit off to make sure he made an accurate throw, and he did.
It is Weber and Peterson to the near side. The give is to Darian Love. He'll go right up the middle. Ball is loose, and the Bulldogs have fallen on it. And for the second consecutive drive, the Orioles cough up the football, and the Bulldogs will be in excellent position in Oriole territory at around the 48-yard line.
Well, you know, they're attempting to establish the run. They were attacking things inside pretty well, but, you know, turnovers, long passes, those are the kinds of things that are, you know, going to beat you if you're not careful. You have to hang on to the football while you're establishing your game, and, you know, defensively you got to be sure not to give up the big play.
So 1st and 10, Brownsburg at the Oriole 49-yard line. Johnson gives it to Akin Rabadi, who is hit and dropped after a gain of maybe a yard or two at most. Zach Batustik from his middle linebacker position came in to upend big Toksak and Rabadi.
Yeah, nice play. They've been running a lot of inside zone, which is just kind of straight ahead zone blocking. That time they actually tried to trap and counter play a little bit, and Avon got some penetration.
Back to pass Johnson. He'll lay it up. He'll send it to the right side, and it's intercepted by Andrew Griffin. Griffin was in one-on-one coverage on the far side. I think the intended receiver was DeQuincy Davis, but that ball was just laid right up in the middle of for Andrew Griffin to pluck it down, and one turnover deserves another, and the Orioles have the football with the ball spotted at about their 20-yard line.
It does, but at the same time, you know, Coach Yoder, I like the call. You know, you've got that kind of weapon. You've got to go deep, I think, when you've got big-time weapons, you know, 4, 5, 6 times a game. And, yes, it was an interception, but Avon's back here on the 20-yard line. They still have to go 80 yards. So, great interception by Andrew Griffin, but I really don't think that was a bad call at all.
So Peters back in the gun, drops back to pass, looks, gets a slant. Andrew Griffin, penalty flag will come out because Griffin was being held as running across on the little bit of a slant route with Kenyon Brown was in coverage. He had a hold of Griffin the whole way. Griffin still caught the football.
Well, they're setting themselves up for a lot of things. I mean, he's in tight man. He followed him all the way down. I mean, I think very quickly, whether it's now or this first half, you're going to see a little double move out of Griffin where he'll come down and fake that inside move and take it right up the field, or, you know, run a post corner of some kind, because right now he got called for pass interference because he's really trying to do his best to stay up with Andrew Griffin, and that's a tough assignment for anybody.
They determined that the holding occurred after the ball was in the air, hence it's pass interference, a 15-yard penalty that'll move the ball up to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Avon. 3:19 left to go, opening quarter. We are tied at 7. It'll be Harrison Weber to the far side of the field. Jordan Peterson and Andrew Griffin to the near side. Now Matt Moore will split out wide left. Corey DePriest is the lone tailback as Peters works out of the gun. Peters drops back, fires over the middle. Nice catch. And coming down with it was Matt Moore. How he really grabbed that ball and came down with it. It was an excellent catch. And it's a first down up to the 47-yard line.
Well, I think he caught the ball because if he hadn't, it might have taken his head off. I mean, it was a well-thrown ball. It was a tight window. I mean, he was fairly well covered. That's a little high-low route. They run Andrew Griffin shallow across the middle and run Matt Moore a little bit behind him, and then they just try to read what the linebackers do, and he found Matt down the middle.
Peterson and Weber to the near side, Griffin to the far side on this 1st and 10. The give is to DePriest. He'll go up the middle. He's going to be met and dropped after maybe a gain of a yard or two at best. Nathan Walton, the 6'4", 185-pound sophomore inside linebacker, stopped DePriest after a gain of about a yard.
Yeah, great open field tackle. And again, right now, Brownsburg, for the most part, has done a nice job controlling the rushing game of Avon.
So it'll bring up 2nd down and 9, ball at the Oriole 48-yard line. Moore and Griffin to the far side of the field. Weber and Peterson to the near side. It'll be DePriest behind now. Brandon off to his left slightly. Clock moving, 2:17 opening quarter. Brandon back to pass. Fires, looks over there, and incomplete. In and out of the hands of Jordan Peterson. Slightly high, couldn't bring it down, however. In coverage for the Bulldogs was Sam Hoffa. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, that's that smash route I talked about earlier. When teams are playing their corners up tight, they play their safeties deep to try to compensate. And the route that's a favorite of most coaches is to run your inside receiver at the safety and then bend him away from the safety but behind the corner. And that's the route they ran. Just had a little bit of a miscue.
Big 3rd down and long for the Orioles. Back to passes Peters. Here comes the blitz. He fires near side. This time Jordan Peterson has the completion. It'll be very, very close to a 1st down. He was working on the Bulldogs corner, Kanian Brown. It's going to be very, very close. We'll see where they spot this football.
Looks like a 1st down from
and
where
it
they're
definitely
marking
it will be a 1st down. So they needed about 9, and Jordan Peterson got him 10. Knew exactly where the 1st down marker was, got the 1st down, and the Orioles are in business in Bulldog territory at the Brownsburg 42-yard line.
Yeah, great route by Peterson, and the ball was on the money, and the protection was excellent.
Moore and Griffin will stack up now over on the left side. Peterson will work the slot right with Weber lined up right. Brandon back to pass, fires, and a little miscommunication, but actually I think getting in the way there. The outside linebacker, Oliver Sue, got in the way of Matt Moore, the intended receiver. Moore pulled up, and the ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, I think, that's a window route. What I mean by that is they're trying to find a window in between the linebackers. Matt read the window outside. Brandon read the window inside. Brandon threw where he thought Matt would be, and Matt pulled up in the outside window.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. 2:03 left to go. Opening quarter. We're tied at 7. DePriest with the football spins off of one tackle, and he'll get inside of the 40-yard line before he is going to be brought down by the outside linebacker, Storm Garnett, a 6'1", 205-pound junior. It will bring up 3rd down and about 7 for Avon at the Bulldog 39. Clock moving. 1:43 left to go in the opening quarter. We've seen turnovers on both sides. We've seen big plays on both sides. And right now the Orioles have the football at the Bulldog 39 on another big 3rd down play. They'll stack the receivers left and right. Corey DePriest is the lone tailback. Peters back to pass. Now he'll keep it all by himself to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. And he'll finally be run out of bounds on this near side by Kanian Brown. But that's all Brandon Peters on just a little quarterback delay. And he gets a big, big gainer down to the Bulldogs' 15-yard line.
Yeah, that was a great play by Brandon, but that's a great call by Coach Eric Moore. You anticipate what you expect to get in coverage. Anytime you get man-to-man coverage, a quarterback draw is a great call, especially when you've got somebody that can run like Brandon.
Weber and Peterson will go to the far side of the formation. It is Griffin to the near side on 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 15. 1:16 left to go 1st quarter. The give is to Priest, and he's going to be met and dropped very, very quickly. Coming in to make the tackle, I believe, was Ricky Clark. And it'll be a pickup of maybe a yard on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 9 as we approach the 1-minute mark left to go in the 1st quarter.
Nice methodical drive here by Avon. A lot of patience. Taking their time, trying to take advantage of the creases that they're finding in the Brownsburg defense. I mean, Brownsburg's doing a nice job. I think Avon's just showing great patience right now with their offensive play calls.
2nd down and 9 with the ball at the 14-yard line. Peters has 3 wide receivers to the left, Griffin to the near side. Peters back to pass. He has DePriest out of the backfield, and from 14 yards out, on a nice little wheel route right out of the backfield, he finds Corey DePriest, and the Orioles are back out in front.
Well, I'm going to tell you that's a scouting report touchdown because, when you're watching film and, you get to know tendencies a little bit, I think down in this area, Avon had a pretty good idea of what they expected, Brownsburg defense to be. Whoever was supposed to have the back in that particular case either got caught up or miscued because he came out of the backfield wide open.
Sam Perino on for the point after with 28.8 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Perino puts the left foot into it. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 28.8 seconds remain in what's been a wild first quarter already. The Orioles, ranked 12th in Class 6A, lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs 14-7. Back with a kickoff after this. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Brandon Peters hits Corey DePriest out of the backfield for a 14-yard touchdown, and with 28.8 seconds remaining in the opening quarter, the Orioles lead the Bulldogs 14-7. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Sam Perino ready to kick this one away back deep. Vincent Lisman and Toksak and Rabate for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, who now trail by 7. Perino puts a foot into it, and this one's going to be fielded at the goal line. Up to the 10, to the 15. This is Lisman. He'll get it to about the 20, and that's about as far as Lisman will be able to bring it out. And the Bulldogs, who had the interception by Andrew Griffin on their last drive, that led to the 7 points, and that's where we are right now with the Orioles leading the Bulldogs by a touchdown. 22.5 seconds remain in this first quarter, and the Bulldogs have the ball at their own 21-yard line. So Johnson and the Bulldog offense back out onto the field. And as they have done all game long, 4 wideouts, 2 to each side. The give is to Akinrabadi. This time he's unable to bounce it outside. Matt Thompson was there, and also there to make the play was A.J. Elcock. He is the 5'10", 195-pound senior defensive end for the Orioles. Clock winding down. That will likely be the final play of the first quarter, and the Bulldogs will let the clock wind down. And we've played a very, very wild first quarter of football here from Hendricks Regional Health Stadium at Avon High School. The score after one period, it's the Orioles 14, the Bulldogs 7. Back is second quarter action in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Come visit Blue River Pharmacy, the local independent pharmacy in Hendricks County. When you choose Blue River Pharmacy as your partner in health and wellness, you will enjoy all of the traditional services of a chain pharmacy, plus so much more. Blue River Pharmacy takes time to truly care for and listen to learn our patients' needs. We accept most insurance plans and offer competitive pricing. Whether you need a prescription filled quickly, medical equipment, unique over-the-counter items, or medication management options, Blue River Pharmacy is your local friendly choice. And we offer free delivery. Stop by our Brownsburg location at 680 East 56th Street in the shops at Brownsburg today and choose Blue River Pharmacy.
Avon Dental Center is a proud sponsor of Avon High School sports broadcast. Dr. Timothy Greer and Dr. Christopher LaFave have served Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning appointments are available. Avon Dental Center has made and donated custom mouth guards to Avon High School athletes every year for the last 15 years. For more information on how parents can get a mouth guard for their high school athlete or any dental questions, go to avondentalcenter.com or call for an appointment at 272-8100. Avon Dental Center.
Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott, ready to begin the second quarter here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium as the 12th-ranked Avon Orioles lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs by the score of 14-7. Both these teams, big plays in the first quarter. Both these quarterbacks showing off their arms. But for the Orioles, a couple of fumbles on carries. That's one of them led to a Bulldog touchdown. The other, well, it was an interception by Andrew Griffin of Hunter Johnson that led to an Oriole touchdown. So the Bulldogs have the football, 2nd down and 10 from their own 21-yard line as we get ready for second quarter action here from Hendricks Regional Health Stadium on a beautiful Friday night for football here in central Indiana. Light winds blowing from the north shouldn't really affect the kicking games too much. And a very pleasant night. It feels like fall, especially after having 90-degree temperatures all last week. This feels like a beautiful fall football weather day. And we have what I can only tell is almost a standing room only sellout crowd here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. Both stands packed for this big rivalry game, and right now it's the home team Avon Orioles crowd that is enjoying the action at the moment, but the Bulldogs hoping to make a little bit of noise here as we get ready to begin the second quarter. 2nd down and 10 from the Bulldog 21-yard line. The give is to Akin-Rabadi, and he breaks it right up the middle to the 40, to the 50, 35, or 40, to the 30. One man to beat, and Akin-Rabadi is going to break off a 79-yard touchdown run. It is that type of explosive speed that makes him made him a very, very valuable Division I recruit who I'm sure Kirk French is really glad that he's going to Iowa.
Well, this game was billed as a game of quarterbacks, but I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, he's showing why he's, headed for Iowa. He's a big-time back. He runs with power. He runs with speed. Right now he's been as much of the show here as both the quarterbacks. He's an outstanding player.
Well, he's had runs of over 50 yards and this one of almost 80 yards just in those two runs. And now Devin Steinman's on to see if he can tie this game up with the first play here in the second quarter being the touchdown run. Kick is up, the kick is away, and the kick is good with 11:48 left to go in the first half. We are tied at 14. Back with a kickoff in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 286-3500 for free delivery to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Specialty pizzas, calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, all made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. Not to mention Panuni's jumbo wings. Just tell them you heard about it from XRB and get 10% off of your order. Check out their Facebook page for specials. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Locally owned Panuni's Pizza and Wings on 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg.
Toksak and Rabadi take it 79 yards to the house, and with 11:48 left to go in the first half, we are tied at 14 here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. Mention Akin-Rabadi. He had a brother that played for head coach Brett Comer. A.J. Akin-Rabadi, a very, very fine linebacker, and he is now an assistant coach on this Brownsburg Bulldogs football team. So the Akin-Rabadi name still lives very large here at Brownsburg, and Tokes just took it 79 yards to the house.
Well, not only did he hit the line of scrimmage in a hurry, but he ran right by the Avon secondary. I mean, there were 3 or 4 people that had an opportunity, at least it looked like from up here, to possibly run him down. But, I mean, once he got into the open field, he just outran him to the end zone.
It'll be back deep. Ian Pendleton and Corey DePriest. The last kickoff return, DePriest had a fine 50-yard return into Bulldog territory. Here is a short kick that's going to be fielded at about the 23-yard line. This is Bryant Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald tries to bounce it off, comes to the outside, to the 35, to the 40, and he'll finally be brought down from behind at about the 47-yard line on a nice return. Finally brought down by Nathan Walton, but Brian Fitzgerald gives the Orioles, excellent field position at around their own 40. I think they're spotted down at the 48-yard line.
Well, that's a great place to start. Anytime you can get up there past the 40-yard line, it gives you lots of room to operate. You can breathe a little easier, and you can totally open up the playbook.
So Brandon Peters back out to bring the Oriole offense onto the field. and a 14-14 football game with 11:37 left to go in the first half. Corey DePriest is the lone tailback. 4 wideouts, 2 to each side of the formation. Peters looks, fires, right side. That's Matt Moore. Penalty flag comes in late after the pass was made. It's a pickup of about 5 yards on the play. Let's see what the penalty flag's about. Back in that area, as Coach is mentioning, of offensive holding.
No,
they're going to call a late hit is going to be called against Brownsburg. So tack on 15 yards after the 5-yard gain, and the Orioles will be in business deep in Bulldog territory after the personal foul penalty. So the pass from Peters to Moore was about a 5-yard gain, add 15 more. So these 20 yards, when they're all said and done, the ball will be spotted at the Bulldog 32-yard line, and that's where the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 with 11:32 left to go first half and a 14-14 tie. It is Weber and Peterson to the near side, Griffin and Moore to the far side. Corey DePriest remains the lone tailback as the Orioles have 1st and 10. Brandon Peters works out of the gun. The give is to DePriest, and he is met as there was great penetration there by the Bulldog defense to hit DePriest in the backfield. And DePriest will be lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Brownsburg's defensive front, I mean, they're just pinning their ears back, getting in a sprinter stance and bringing it hard on every play. And right now it's, they're disrupting the running game, especially for Avon. They've really done an outstanding job here at the start of the game.
This time the Orioles will bring 3 wide receivers to the near side, and some confusion, it looks like, on Brownsburg at this time. As Brandon Peters drops back to pass, steps up, now has room on the right side to the 30, to the 25. He will get out of bounds, and then he will be hit way late. Peters going out of bounds, and the Bulldogs looking over on that far side. I believe it was Antonio Baker. He kind of launched himself at Peters after Peters was already out of bounds. So the run was likely enough for the first down, and now we're going to tack on a personal foul penalty afterwards. So a late hit called against Brownsburg. That's 2 personal foul penalties on this drive, and now the Orioles are knocking at the door where they'll have it first down in a 14-14 tie.
Well, that's 2 big penalties. Those are the things that drive you crazy as a coach, because Avon's offense is explosive enough as it is. I mentioned how well they're playing up front defensively, and that's 2 15-yard penalties. So, 30 of the yards on this drive have been on penalties.
They'll spot the ball at the 12-yard line, 1st and 10, Avon. As they break the huddle, it'll be Peterson and Weber to the far side, Moore and Griffin to the near side. DePriest remains the lone tailback on this 1st and 10 for Avon, with Peters working out of the gun. We're tied at 14 here at Avon High School. Peters gets the snap, fires, looking in the corner. He's looking for Griffin, and Griffin hauls it in, and he has the touchdown. One-on-one coverage here on the near side. He was working against the defender on that side, which I believe was Devin Parrott.
Yeah, I don't care who it is. One-on-one down here with all that room. Again, he back-shouldered him a little bit. That's a fade route. In the old days, you would have tried to run over the top of the DB. The rule of thumb now is you actually run underneath. You get the DB to be running hard, and, you throw the ball a little bit short, and the receiver and the quarterback both know that, and he turned around and made the easy catch.
Sam Perino on for the point after. Andrew Griffin to hold. And this one is blocked. Bulldogs came around both ends and were well back there to block that kick. So the extra point is no good. And with 10:28 left to go, first half, the Orioles lead the Bulldogs 20-14. Back with a kick in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Changes Home Care is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcast. Changes Home Care assists the elderly in staying independent in the comfort of their own home as long as possible. They assist individuals with bathing, dressing, transportation, medication reminders, light housekeeping, companionship, and much more. Their office is on Shiloh Professional Drive in Avon. Changes Home Care serves Hendricks and Marion County as well as all of the surrounding counties. Their services are available 24/7, 365 days a year. For a consultation appointment, call area code 317-271-3800. That's area code 317-271-3800. Changes Home Care in Avon.
Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
Brian Fitzgerald's excellent kickoff return put the Orioles in good field position, and they eventually score on a 12-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Peters to Andrew Griffin. The point after was blocked, so that we'll see if that comes back to haunt the Orioles later. But right now, they lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs by the score of 20-14. Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. It has been one wild football game. We've seen a little bit of sloppy play on both sides, but we've also seen some excellent offense from both sides. And right now, the Bulldogs will see if they can answer. They have yet to take a lead in this contest. They have answered every call that Avon has put up on the scoreboard. And they will be set to receive this kick as Akinrabadi and Lisman are back deep, and Sam Perino is getting ready to kick this one away for Avon. 20-14, the Orioles with the lead, Perino with the foot, and the ball's in the air. Lisman will run up and take it at the 15, 20 to the 25, and Brian Fitzgerald is going to grab Lisman right there and make sure he doesn't get any farther, and that is where the Brownsburg Bulldogs will have it 1st and 10 from their own 25, trailing by 6.
It'll be interesting to me to see if Brownsburg continues to play the secondary the way they've done it. They've been burned now for 3 touchdowns. It's almost like they made a decision that they're going to come in and be very aggressive and play the man for man, but right now they're suffering for it. Again,
as they have done all game long, a 4-wide outlook. The give is to Akinrabadi. He finds a hole on the left side, and Matt Thompson is going to wrap him up, but not before Akinrabadi picks up about 3 yards close to the Bulldog 29-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and about 7. This time Akinrabadi will line up to the right of Johnson. And he will get the football. He'll go right up the middle, but get very, very little before he's brought down. Tackle made there by Avon's Zach Batustik. And that's going to bring up 3rd down in about 5. Lining up to the near side will be Ray White. He'll be joined by Cameron Martin for the Bulldogs on this 3rd down and 5. The pass is complete as they bounce it off to the left side, and there's Tyler Kurtz back into the football game. We saw him leave earlier with, as Coach surmised, possibly got stepped on his leg. Kurtz is back in the football game, and that gain is enough for a 1st down for the Bulldogs. They'll have it at their own 37-yard line as Johnson's back to pass, lays it up, has a man open. He lays it right into the breadbasket, racing down the sideline and getting the touchdown on a 63-yard touchdown pass from Hunter Johnson to Ray White.
What an outstanding throw. I mean, that ball had to be in the air 50 yards. Hit him in stride, laid it right in there. Really didn't even have to be that tough a catch. Again, we're just trading big plays here. I'm really still a little bit shocked, and I've mentioned it multiple times that both teams just continue to get up there and play tight on receivers that have run by defenders with quarterbacks that can put the ball anywhere they want to at any time.
Devon Steinman can give the Bulldogs their first lead of the game. We're tied at 20. High snap. They get it down. The kick is up. And the Bulldogs have their first lead of the game with 9:19 left to go in the first half. It is Brownsburg leading Avon 21-20. Back with a kick in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online.
We'd like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year.
Avon Dental Center is a proud sponsor of Avon High School sports broadcast. Dr. Timothy Greer and Dr. Christopher LaFave have served Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning appointments are available. Avon Dental Center has made and donated custom mouth guards to Avon High School athletes every year for the last 15 years. For more information on how parents can get a mouth guard for their high school athlete or any dental questions, go to avondentalcenter.com or call for an appointment at 272-8100. Avon Dental Center.
Come visit Blue River Pharmacy, the local independent pharmacy in Hendricks County. When you choose Blue River Pharmacy as your partner in health and wellness, you will enjoy all of the traditional services of a chain pharmacy, plus so much more. Blue River Pharmacy takes time to truly care for and listen to learn our patients' needs. We accept most insurance plans and offer competitive pricing. Whether you need a prescription filled quickly, medical equipment, unique over-the-counter items, or medication management options, Blue River Pharmacy is your local friendly choice. And we offer free delivery. Stop by our Brownsburg location at 680 East 56th Street in the shops at Brownsburg today and choose Blue River Pharmacy.
Hunter Johnson finds Ray White on a 63-yard touchdown pass down the near sideline. The difference in this game right now, a Devin Steinman point after, that has given the Bulldogs a 21-20 lead over 12th-ranked Avon with 9:19 left to go in the first half. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. It has been a bit of offensive showcase tonight as both quarterbacks living up to their expectations, both trying to one-up each other. And right now, it's an extra point. That's the difference in this game, and the Bulldogs have the lead. As Steinman gets set to kick this football away. Back deep is Corey DePriest and Ian Pendleton. It'll be back and fielded by Pendleton. He'll muff it, and he'll put it in the end zone, which he'll take a knee right there, and they'll bring the ball out to the 20. Now a penalty flag comes in late, and the way the Bulldogs are celebrating, this one might be against the Avon Orioles. So a penalty flag after the ball was down in the end zone for the touchback. Obviously, somebody laid a hit on somebody after the whistle blew, and the penalty flag was thrown, and this one looks like it's going to be called against Avon. So it will be a personal foul penalty called against Avon. That's going to back them up. They were going to start this drive on the 20, and now they're going to be back to the 10 as it's half the distance to the goal, and with 1st and 10 from their own 10 and 9:18 left to go in this first half. Avon trails 21-10, but they have the football, and Brandon Peters now out to see what he can do. As again, this has been a offensive showcase of both quarterbacks so far in this game, and we still have a lot of football left to be played.
And the Brownsburg running back.
Toksak and Rabada, he has been big play, and here is a run that's going to get stopped as coming in to make the tackle was Ricky Clark, as I believe it was DePriest, the ball carrier, and he's going to be stopped and actually they're going to drop him for about a half-yard loss.
Well, you know, when you've got a quarterback like Brandon Peters, you know, it does allow you to do some other things, but when you're on the 10-yard line, you're down by a point. You know, even with this much time left, you know, you want to be careful what you run down here.
Peterson and Weber to the near side. Moore and Griffin to the far side on 2nd and 11 from the Oriole 9-yard line. DePriest, the lone tailback. Bulldogs show blitz. Peters takes a snap, fires, hits right side. That's Andrew Griffin to the 15, to the 20. He has the first down, and Moore out to the 25-yard line on a simple little hitch route on the far side. He stopped. Peters delivered the ball. Griffin did the rest to get the Bulldogs the Orioles, out of a hole and first down at the 25-yard line.
Brownsburg has gone to a little bit softer coverage because they have been beat deep, which, I totally agree with after what we've seen earlier. But because of that, Avon now is countered by running a little hitch and slants in that kind of route. Andrew was able to make the catch, and not only that, but he made the defender miss and picked up some extra yardage.
So first and 10, Orioles at their own 25-yard line. As Peters waits the snap, he will drop back, fire, right side, same play, same result. Is Andrew Griffin will have about 10 yards up to about the 35-yard line. Nothing different. They ran basically the same route on the same side of the field, and the result is almost 10 yards for Avon.
But the difference is it's not a touchdown. They gave up a couple of first downs. They gave up a couple of completions. It may look bad to the people sitting in the stands, but there's no points going up on the scoreboard. So, I guess in my estimation, after them being beat like they were earlier, this is a smart way to play things. And it's not that they're not going to blitz or play tight coverage. They just won't do it as often.
Peters will go under center. He'll give it to DePriest, and DePriest on a fine defensive play. Coming in to make the tackle is the inside linebacker, Nathan Walton, and DePriest is going to be nailed for about a 1-yard loss. That'll bring up third and about 2.
Yeah, not only is he an outstanding linebacker, I watched him wrestle last year, and he made it to the state finals as a freshman, so that tells you that he's got a lot of toughness.
Nathan Walton, a 6'4", 185-pound sophomore. And this is going to bring up third, and they'll say DePriest got back to around the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up 3rd and 1. Ball resting at the Oriole 34-yard line. Peterson and Weber to the far side of the field, Moore and Griffin to the near side. On this 3rd and 1, clock moving, 7:42 in the half, and 21-20 is the score in favor of Brownsburg. The give is DePriest. He will be met, and this is all going to be about forward progress. DePriest might have gotten it. He was met and drilled, as coming in to make the play was the outside linebacker, Storm Garnett, but DePriest got the first down, and the chains will move as the Orioles will continue the drive.
Well, I'm sitting up here on the Avon side, but I think we got a pretty favorable spot on that. Looks like he got met pretty well right at the line of scrimmage.
And they'll spot the ball right at the 35. 1st and 10, Avon, clock moving, 7:23 left to go in this first half. Griffin works slot left. Jordan Peterson is the wide receiver to the near side. Harrison Weber to the far side. Play action is Brandon drops, fires, has Matt Moore at the 50 and into Bulldogs territory at about the 45-yard line. A big pickup of about 20 yards on the play for the Orioles.
I'll tell you what, I'm not too sure that Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning could have thrown that ball any better. Just a lot of touch, a lot of patience, little play action. Allowed Matt a little bit extra time to run the route. He ran a little flat route and turned it up, and as soon as he turned it up, the ball was right in his hands.
This time the Orioles will bring 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Corey DePriest remains the tailback as it's 1st and 10, Avon at the Bulldog 45-yard line. Clock moving, under 6:50 left to go in the first half. Brandon takes the snap, good protection, fires over. He has Griffin in the middle of the field at the 30, and Griffin will be tackled at about the 28-yard line. Coming in to make the play was Victor Inglemia, but it's a big play for the Orioles of about 18, 19 yards inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
The offensive line has picked up a little bit, giving Brandon plenty of time to make some throws. Brownsburg has gone to a little bit more of a zone kind of coverage, which means they're going to need a little bit more time, and the offensive line has done that. They've, allowed Andrew Griffith to go down there and find the openings in the secondary.
1st and 10, Avon at the Bulldog 29-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the top, 1 to the near side, but the give is to DePriest. He finds a hole to the 25, to the 20, and inside the 20-yard line goes Corey DePriest. It'll be a pickup of about 11 yards on the play and a first down for Avon.
Nice little trap play. One of the things you try to do when you have over-aggressive defensive linemen is you run the trap. You let the guy run upfield. They brought the guard from the far side. He kicked out on the defensive end, who really basically had already run himself out of the play. Nice play call, nice gain.
So 1st and 10, the Orioles are in the red zone at the Bulldog 19. Again, is a handoff to DePriest, and this time Walton with a bit of a snatch lift and slung DePriest right back down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Yeah, look like a double leg takedown to me.
Another fine play by the sophomore linebacker for the Bulldogs, Nathan Walton, will bring up 2nd and 10 for Avon. Clock moving as they have been taking some time off this clock as they've taken almost 4 minutes off the clock. We're at 5:25 left to go in the first quarter. 21-20 is our score with the Bulldogs ahead, but the Orioles threatening. Harrison Weber is the lone wide receiver to the near side. Peters back to pass. Fires over the middle, wide open. That is Andrew Griffin to the 10, to the 5. He's going to be out of bounds at about the 2. Andrew was trying to tightrope that sideline and just couldn't quite keep the feet in bounds, but the Orioles will have it 1st and goal at about the Bulldog 2.
Yeah, that's that little crossing route, a little high-low route where they run Matt Moore down the middle and he crosses in the middle of the field at about 10 yards, and you got Andrew Griffin running a little shallow cross at about 2 or 3. They dropped. He hit Andrew on the run and nearly snuck it in.
Brandon Peters will bend under his center, Ryan Dickinson, on this 1st and goal from the 2. Peters, 6'5", 210. Bends under center. Gives it to DePriest on the delay, but DePriest is not going to get back, but maybe to the line of scrimmage.
And he was lucky to do that. Defensive end came clean off the corner, had an opportunity to tackle DePriest in the backfield, which would have been for about a 3-yard loss. He was able to get himself back to the line of scrimmage. Outstanding individual effort.
It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line for Avon as the clock continues to move. We're under 4:37 left to go in the half. Orioles trail by 6. This time Peters will work out of the gun. DePriest to his right. Takes the snap. Play action now, rolls to his right. He has Matt Moore. Moore dives into the end zone. And the Orioles retake the lead with 4:20 left to go in the first half. On a 2-yard touchdown pass, Brandon Peters to Matt Moore.
Yeah, more importantly, 90-yard touchdown drive. Just real patient, great play calling again by offensive coordinator Eric Moore. Mixed up the run and the pass, through deep, through short, some crossing routes, a couple of little curl type routes. Just showing great patience, great call down here. Anytime you run that little misdirection play like that down on the goal line, it's really difficult to stop.
90-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 59 seconds off the clock. And Sam Perino is on for the point after. He had the last one blocked. Andrew Griffin is the holder. This time Perino gets it up. He gets it through, and with 4:20 left to go in this first half, the Orioles are back out in front. They lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs 27-21. Back with a kickoff in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Running out of space? Tired of the clutter, but don't want to part with your possessions? We have a solution for that at Northfield Self Storage in Brownsburg. Whether you need a little extra storage or a larger space, our storage units ranging from 5x10 to 10x30 will surely take care of your needs. We also carry packing supplies such as boxes, tape, bubble wrap, and a whole lot more. Come see Northfield Self Storage and U-Haul at 1530 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg, open 7 days a week.
If you're a business owner, with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
90 yards. That's how many yards the Avon Orioles had to traverse. They did it in 4 minutes and 59 seconds. And it ended with a Brandon Peters to Matt Moore 2-yard touchdown pass. And the Orioles retake the lead 27-21 with still 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this first half of play. Alongside Dave Shelburne, I'm Brian Scott. It's been a wild first half as both teams have been answering each other's call. Right now, the big difference is a blocked extra point, but Avon has the lead back. They lead by 6 with 4:20 left to play in this first half. A very impressive drive by Avon, as Coach said, 90 yards in almost 5 minutes as they marched down the field, made a couple of big third down conversions, and also got some nice passes from Peters to Andrew Griffin. Griffin looked like he might have been in on that one touchdown, on that one tiptoe of the sideline. They rolled him out at the 2, but the Orioles managed a couple plays later to get the ball into the end zone to lead 27-21. Samperino on to kick this ball away. Back deep will be Vincent Lisman and Tokes Akinrabadi. Perino runs up, puts a left foot into it, and it's a high spinning kick that will be taken at about the 12 to the 20, and then dropped right there, I believe, is Vincent Lisman, as he'll get out to about the 23-yard line, and that's now where the Bulldogs will start their drive, trailing by 6 with 4:15 left to go in what has been a wild first half of play.
Well, it's been about what we expected. We expected the offenses to make big plays, and both offenses have, not disappointed us at all.
Hunter Johnson and the Bulldogs offense back out onto the field. And it'll be Eli Johnson lined up to the near side, but this is Akinrabadi. He will run it around the right side, and A.J. Elcock will bring him down from behind after Akinrabadi picks up about 3 on the play up to the 26-yard line. That'll bring up second down and 7. Clock under 4 minutes left to play in this first half. Coming to the near side is Ray White. He was on the receiving end of that long touchdown bomb from Johnson the play before. Now Andrew Griffin was worked on one-on-one on White on the near side. Johnson gives it to Akinrabadi, and Akinrabadi not going to find a whole lot of room because there was Zach Batustik in there to help make the tackle, as well as Matt Thompson and C.J. Hunt. It's a gain of maybe a half a yard at best. It's going to bring up third down and about 7 for the Bulldogs. Ball just at the 26-yard line. They need to take it to the 33 to get a first down. Johnson out of the gun, takes a snap. He'll roll to the near side. Looking, fires, incomplete. Brian Fitzgerald in coverage. Johnson was looking for Eli Johnson, the 6', 160-pound junior wide receiver. The pass was low. Bryant helped knock it away, and the Bulldogs look like they're going to go 3 and out on this possession.
Well, they forced Hunter Johnson out of the pocket, and that's always difficult for a quarterback. Anytime you get off your throwing spot and you've got to throw on the run, it's not that it can't be done, but it does lower your percentage. It was a good defensive rush by Avon, forced him out of the pocket, caused him a little bit with good coverage to throw the incompletion.
Hunter Johnson's first official punt. He had a pooch kick earlier. This was a short punt that's going to be fielded by the Bulldogs at about the 43. This was going to be our first chance, we thought, to see Matt Moore and Bryant Fitzgerald in punt coverage, but it's down by the Bulldogs, and the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 at around their 42-yard line. They're up by 6 with still 3 minutes left to go in the half, and both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. We'd like to thank our faithful fans following us tonight here on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online. It is greatly appreciated. 1st and 10, Orioles at their own 42. Peters back to pass. Fires right side and incomplete. Matt Moore laying out, trying to pick that one off the carpet. It falls incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, three minutes is plenty of time for Avon to move the ball down the field as well as they're able to throw the football and mix things up. So, right now at least time is still not a factor.
So it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Orioles at the 42-yard line. 27-21, that's our score. Andrew Griffin will go to the far side of the field. He'll be joined by Matt Moore. Weber and Peterson to the near side with Peterson working the slot. Corey DePriest, he is the lone tailback. Bulldogs show blitz. They back out of it. Here's Peters on the draw. He goes to the 45, to the 50, into Bulldogs territory, and he picks up 12 yards all the way down to the Brownsburg 45-yard line is where they'll say he went down. A pickup of about 15 and a first down for the Avon Orioles.
Yeah, Brandon is a great athlete, certainly capable of running with the football. It's not something they want to do a lot, but that's just a good call to kind of keep them honest. They've been pinning their ears back and coming. This way they're going to have to rethink the rush lanes and rethink, what they want to do to cause or put some pressure on Brandon Peters.
3 wideouts to the near side of the formation for the Orioles. Back to pass is Peters. Takes it, fires downfield. He's looking for Harrison Weber, and it's not there. Threw it into a little bit of double coverage as Jalen Keith was one-on-one with Harrison Weber, and coming over the top was Antonio Baker with safety help. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Again, I mentioned earlier when Brownsburg did it, I still like the call. When you've got the arms that we have on the field tonight and guys that are capable of running downfield, just by throwing that pass, you're going to open up things underneath. You're going to keep them honest.
Andrew Griffin will line up as a lone wideout to the near side. He'll be locked up one-on-one with Jalen Keith once again on this 2nd and 10 from the Bulldog 45. They give it to Priest. He finds a hole, cuts it up to the 40, or down to the 40, I should say, to about the 37-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 8, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 2 for Avon.
That's that same little trap play they ran earlier. Because Brownsburg front is as aggressive as they are, trap is a good play. They're letting that defensive end run upfield, bringing the guard from the backside to kick him out, and it's creating a nice little opening for the running back to get in there.
1:50 and counting here in the first half. Avon with a 27-21 lead, facing 3rd and 2 from the Bulldog 37-yard line. 3 wideouts, 2 to the far side of the formation. Andrew Griffin is lined up to the near side. DePriest is the tailback. Peters working out of the gun. He'll get it. They'll find Griffin at the 30. Griffin turns it upfield, and he'll take it down to about the 27-yard line. The Orioles will have a 1st down, and they'll spot the ball at the Bulldog 27.
I mean, right now it's just a clinic. If they back off, they throw underneath. If they play tight, they run by them. They've run a little crossing routes. They've done a nice job mixing up their routes. They've gone short. They've gone deep, and the Avon offensive line seems to have picked things up here a little bit also because Brandon lately has had plenty of time to throw.
Matt Moore is lined up as a wingback right. Bulldogs show blitz. Peters takes the pass. He'll lay it up. He's looking for Griffin. Griffin has it. He is in the end zone, and it's a touchback. It is intercepted by Victor Inglima.
And the officials have no clue. They're standing back there looking at each other. There was no signal whatsoever. The only way they knew it was an interception is because the Brownsburg player was so excited he ran halfway across the field with the football.
It took a long while for them to come back with that call, but it's intercepted. Victor Inglima came away with the football.
Yeah, great play because he was beat.
He gets it, gets the interception, and the turnover will give the Bulldogs 1st and 10 at their own 20 with 1:07 remaining in the half. They trail 27-21. They'll give it to Akinrabadi. He'll just plow it right up the middle. Gains about a yard, and clock continues to run at 55 seconds. It looks like head coach Brett Comer not planning to stop the clock, even though he has all 3 of his timeouts remaining. It'll bring up 2nd. They'll give him 2 yards. Let's call it 2nd down and 8 for the Bulldogs. And Hunter Johnson is just watching the clock wind down. So the Bulldogs are evidently content to go to the locker room, trailing by 6. They'll swing it out to the near side as the pass is complete. And a penalty flag on the far side of the field, away from the play. The pass was complete to Eli Johnson, but on the far side of the field, a penalty flag dropped. With the clock showing 25.7 seconds, pass was complete to about the 34. That would be enough for a Bulldog 1st down. But let's check the penalty. Again, well away from the action. As the official personal foul will be called against Brownsburg. So a big play is going to be wiped out by a 15-yard penalty. And again, this was well away from all the action. It was on the far side of the field. And this one's going to mark things back to the 19-yard line. That's just about a yard behind the original line of scrimmage of the 20. And we will have 25.7 seconds remaining on the clock. Orioles up by 6. You want to stick around at halftime? We'll take a look about what's happening in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, what the records look like after week 1 of action, and who's playing tonight, and we'll have a lot of time to kill, trust me. Clock moves, and Bulldogs will have to run a play. They elect to just take a knee, and even though both teams have their full allotment of timeouts, they're going to let the clock wind down, and they're going to head to the locker rooms. And as they do, the Orioles will head to the locker room with a 6-point lead, 27-21. The clock reads zeros. We are at halftime at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. Our score, the 12th-ranked Avon Orioles 27, the Brownsburg Bulldogs 21. We'll be back and talk about a few things here at halftime. It's game night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 286-3500 for free delivery to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Specialty pizzas, calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, all made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. Not to mention Panuni's jumbo wings. Just tell them you heard about it from XRB and get 10% off of your order. Check out their Facebook page for specials. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Locally owned Panuni's Pizza and Wings on 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg.
Changes Home Care is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcast. Changes Home Care assists the elderly in staying independent in the comfort of their own home as long as possible. They assist individuals with bathing, dressing, transportation, medication reminders, light housekeeping, companionship, and much more. Their office is on Shiloh Professional Drive in Avon. Changes Home Care serves Hendricks and Marion County as well as all of the surrounding counties. Their services are available 24/7, 365 days a year. For a consultation appointment, call area code 317-271-3800. That's area code 317-271-3800. Changes Home Care in Avon.
McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900. Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech. We'd like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year.
Avon Dental Center is a proud sponsor of Avon High School sports broadcast. Dr. Timothy Greer and Dr. Christopher LaFave have served Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. Avon Dental Center offers high-tech dentistry that includes dental implants, orthodontics, and one-appointment crowns. At Avon Dental Center, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. You can get more information at avondentalcenter.com or call for an appointment at 272-8100. Avon Dental Center.
Running out of space? Tired of the clutter, but don't want to part with your possessions? We have a solution for that at Northfield Self Storage in Brownsburg. Whether you need a little extra storage or a larger space, our storage units ranging from 5x10 to 10x30 will surely take care of your needs. We also carry packing supplies such as boxes, tape, bubble wrap, and a whole lot more. Come see Northfield Self Storage and U-Haul at 1530 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg, open 7 days a week.
Plumbing problems? Yeah, we all get them from time to time, but what if we could avoid the problem? That's what your local Hendricks County hometown company, Westside Plumbing, is here for. At Westside Plumbing, we're dedicated to teaching you about your plumbing problems and helping you maintain your pipes to avoid the big, often messy and expensive problems that could occur. Sometimes Westside Plumbing can even help you fix your plumbing problem right over the phone. Save time and money. Call Westside Plumbing today at 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. 445-8399.
Halftime at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium as the 12th-ranked Avon Orioles lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs by the score of 27-21. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. It's been a wild first half of play, and we'll talk more about that after we take a look at what's been happening around the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Of course, week one, that's in the books. Many teams got their HCC conference season started last week. Of course, with 7 teams, that means one team is always going to be playing a non-conference game. And after week one, well, we've got some teams that we kind of expected might be at the top of the conference after week one, and maybe even a few surprises. Let's look at scores from last week. Fishers knocked off Noblesville as Coach Rick Wimmer's team is now 3-0 to begin the season. Fishers won 38-13. Of course, Hamilton Southeastern defeated Avon last week 21-18. Westfield, they beat Zionsville last week by the score of 45-30, and the non-conference game last week was the Brownsburg Bulldogs knocking off the Franklin Grizzly Cubs by the score of 68-7. Games of this week, games that are happening tonight. Hamilton Southeastern is at Fishers. That's another huge rivalry game, though. The Fishers Tigers, they've kind of owned that series for the last few years. I think head coach Rick Wimmer is 4-0 in their last 4 matchups against Hamilton Southeastern. Noblesville is at Westfield.
Update that Southeastern is beating Fishers now 32-31.
Well, that's pretty much after what we saw last week. We thought with Carter Pori and Zach Eaton, the 2 quarterbacks for those schools, that one probably was going to end up in a shootout, and that so far looks like that's what's happening tonight as Southeastern leads Fishers. That's obviously late in that contest. Noblesville is at Westfield tonight. Zionsville has got the non-conference game, but they've picked a pretty tough one. They'll play Brebeuf tonight. Next week, Fishers will be at Brownsburg, so Rick Wimmer's Tigers will head over to play Coach Comer's Bulldogs. Westfield will be at Hamilton Southeastern. That game is actually being played at Lucas Oil Stadium next week. The Avon Orioles, they've got the non-conference game next week, and they're going to see a team they saw for the first time last year as the Whiteland Warriors will visit Hendricks Regional Health Stadium next week, and Zionsville is at Noblesville. That rounds out the action next week. As we take a look at the HCC through the first 3 games, Fishers is 3-0, and they're just doing with an outstanding defense so far this season. They've only given up 21 points through 3 games, and, of course, they have won their first 3 of the season. Westfield also doing a pretty good job this year. 123 points is what the Shamrocks have scored through 3 games. The Hamilton Southeastern Royals, they're now 2-1. They're 1-0 in conference play and have won their last 2. The Bulldogs, well, they're playing their first conference game tonight. They are on the season. They're 1-2. A pair of teams at 2-1, but 0-1 in the conference are Noblesville and Zionsville. And Avon, the defending HCC champions, they're 1-2 overall and 0-1 in conference play. That takes a look at what is happening in the HCC. Again, a big night of high school football in central Indiana. If you take a look at the Hendricks County schools, the big one is, of course, here tonight. Plainfield's playing Roncalli. We understand Plainfield won that football game. Danville is at Tri-West tonight. Tri-West, the defending Class 3A champions. They started 0-2. They picked up their first win last week. They'll probably be very heavily favored tonight. And the Cascade Cadets, they picked up their first win of the season last week down in Brown County. They're hosting winless Cloverdale tonight. So that's also a look at some of the county schools tonight as we are at halftime here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium with our score. The 12th-ranked Avon Orioles 27, the Brownsburg Bulldogs 21. We're going to pay a few bills and come back. Coach Shelburne and I will talk about what we saw in the first half. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at RedCobraWrestlingAcademy.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street.
Come visit Blue River Pharmacy, the local independent pharmacy in Hendricks County. When you choose Blue River Pharmacy as your partner in health and wellness, you will enjoy all of the traditional services of a chain pharmacy, plus so much more. Blue River Pharmacy takes time to truly care for and listen to learn our patients' needs. We accept most insurance plans and offer competitive pricing. Whether you need a prescription filled quickly, medical equipment, unique over-the-counter items, or medication management options, Blue River Pharmacy is your local friendly choice. And we offer free delivery. Stop by our Brownsburg location at 680 East 56th Street in the shops at Brownsburg today and choose Blue River Pharmacy.
Avon Dental Center is a proud sponsor of Avon High School sports broadcast. Dr. Timothy Greer and Dr. Christopher Lefebvre have served Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning appointments are available. Avon Dental Center has made and donated custom mouth guards to Avon High School athletes every year for the last 15 years. For more information on how parents can get a mouth guard for their high school athlete or any dental questions, go to avondentalcenter.com or call for an appointment at 272-8100. Avon Dental Center.
Halftime at Avon High School, Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. The 12th-ranked Orioles lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs by the score 27-21. Alongside broadcast partner, the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelburne. I'm Brian Scott. It was a wild first half of play. As kind of saw why the national audience was tuned in tonight here in Avon, Indiana, as both quarterbacks, they were lighting it up early and often, showing some really outstanding quarterback play. It got all started, though, with Andrew Griffin on the receiving end of an 81-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Peters. That got the scoring started on the Orioles' first drive of the contest. They led 7-0, but not to be outdone. The Bulldogs answered right back as Hunter Johnson hit Tyler Kurtz on a 32-yard touchdown pass. And midway through the first quarter, we were already tied at 7. The game stayed that way until about, I would say, late in the first quarter. An Andrew Griffin interception eventually led to a 14-yard Brandon Peters to Corey DePriest touchdown pass late in the first quarter, and the Avon Orioles led 14-7. That didn't last long. 2 plays later, Toksak and Rabati, the very fine senior tailback for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, he cracked off a 79-yard touchdown run. And early in the second quarter, we were all tied up at 14 apiece. It stayed that way until early in the second quarter when Brandon Peters hit Andrew Griffin on a 12-yard touchdown strike. But the point after by San Perino was blocked. That made it a 20-14 advantage for Avon with 10:28 left to go in the first half of play. The Bulldogs, they answered right back as Hunter Johnson hit Ray White on a 63-yard touchdown strike down the near sideline. The point after was good, and that gave the Bulldogs their first and only lead of this contest with 9:19 left to go in the half at 21-20. That didn't last. It went down toward late here in the first half as Brandon Peters hit Matt Moore on a 2-yard touchdown strike. The point after was good. That made it 27-21. The Orioles look like they might drive for one more score here at the end of the first half. But Victor Anglima, on what we thought originally was possibly an interception, turned out Brandon Peters' pass to Andrew Griffin was complete. Anglima actually stripped the ball just shy of the goal line. Griffin was not in the end zone yet. It went as a fumble. It was recovered in the end zone for a touchback, and that pretty much ended the Orioles' drive there at the end of the first half, and that gave us our first half score of 27-21. Coach, it's been in some ways it's what everybody thought we might see. Very talented offensive play from both schools, from both quarterbacks. And right now you also see the fine running back Toxakin Rabati for the Bulldogs, and Andrew Griffin is really showing his stuff at wide receiver. And another player that we kind of a lot of fans may still get lost. If you're a Bulldogs fan, you probably haven't really heard much about Matt Moore as being a Division I recruit. Well, he is a Division I recruit. It's just not with a pigskin.
No, he's a big time baseball recruit at Purdue. He's committed to Purdue. He's a big left-handed pitcher. If he hadn't done that, I mean, I'm really convinced he would be a big time tight end. He can block, he can run, he can catch. He's obviously very athletic. They split him out. You know, he can do all the things he needs to do, and he's a nice complement to Andrew Griffin, as are Harrison Weber and Jordan Peterson. So, you know, we've got the four kids that can get it done. I'm really impressed, and everybody talks about, and they do have great arms, but both Hunter Johnson and Brandon Peters, I think, have turned into outstanding quarterbacks. And the thing that I like about both of them, and there's no real way to describe it, but they both have that it factor. I mean, they're just, you know, they're kids I mentioned earlier, and I'm bragging here a little bit, not that I had much to do with it, but I had them both as seventh graders, and you could tell the seventh graders, I mean, they just have that poise, they just have that charisma about them. You know, they walk out on the field, and the other 10 guys in the huddle with them know that, you know, hey, we've got an outstanding quarterback, and if I block a little bit harder and run my route a little bit harder, they're going to be able to get me the ball. So, you know, I kind of make the analogy sometimes with pitchers. You know, you've got guys that can throw the ball over 90 miles an hour, but they're not always winning pitchers because they don't know how to pitch. Well, both these guys really know how to lead their teams. They play with poise. If they have a bad play, a bad throw, you know, they just kind of put it behind them and move forward. And they also know that their goal is not to build up their own stats. It's to get their team in the end zone so their team can win games, and both of them have been able to do that. They're headaches for defenses. I've really been impressed with what Brownsburg has done offensively tonight. Avon's defense, I've mentioned in the first three games, I think has really been pretty outstanding most of the year, and I think their inside six has held up against some very, very fine football teams, but Brownsburg has been able to come out and run the football tonight here a little bit better than I thought. And actually, I think Avon late in the second quarter started to do it a little bit better, but they struggled a little bit with their running game, you know, which puts a lot of weight on Brandon's shoulders, which he certainly has proved he can carry. But, you know, you're watching a little strategy kind of go on here a little bit. Brownsburg started off in a very aggressive, get up in your face, blitz a little bit, playing some man-to-man, got burned with it later on in the game, went to a little bit more of a sit-back zone type of coverage, and yes, they were giving up some completions underneath, but they were slowing things down, making Avon earn some things, and, you know, I'm sure there's some decisions being made in there at halftime. You're going to see some changes out here in the second half. But, both these offenses are very, very explosive, and, they're going to continue to do what they do, and the defense is going to have to hope for, a turnover, a missed assignment, a drop pass, that type of thing, to assist them in trying to slow down both of these offenses.
Speaking of turnovers, the Orioles, they've committed 3 turnovers. The Bulldogs, I believe, have committed 2. Again, that last one, which we thought was an interception in the end zone, turned out Andrew Griffin had the ball, but shy of the goal line, Victor Anglima stripped the ball from Griffin's hands, recovered it in the end zone for a touchback. And both these teams had a little bit of problems here in the first half with turnovers. We'll see if they can settle that down. The Orioles, very impressive drive late there in that second half. A 90-yard touchdown drive. They started originally with a touchback. A penalty pushed them back to the 10, but they took 5 minutes to drive it down the field, push it into the end zone, and as Coach called it during the time, almost a clinic as they just marched right down the field.
And, earlier in the half, I think they had a 94 or 95-yard drive. I've mentioned Coach Moore before. I think he does a nice job mixing things up, trying to get a feel for what the defense has done. They put up 4 scores here in the first half. Brandon's got 4 touchdown passes already, and it looks like was maybe a half a yard away from having his 5th.
We are going to take a timeout. We come back, second half action from Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. The Orioles lead the Bulldogs 27-21. Back with a kick in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 286-3500 for free delivery to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Specialty pizzas, calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, all made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. Not to mention Panuni's jumbo wings. Just tell them you heard about it from XRB and get 10% off of your order. Check out their Facebook page for specials. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Locally owned Panuni's Pizza and Wings on 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg.
Changes Home Care is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcast. Changes Home Care assists the elderly in staying independent in the comfort of their own home as long as possible. They assist individuals with bathing, dressing, transportation, medication reminders, light housekeeping, companionship, and much more. Their office is on Shiloh Professional Drive in Avon. Changes Home Care serves Hendricks and Marion County as well as all of the surrounding counties. Their services are available 24/7, 365 days a year. For a consultation appointment, call area code 317-271-3800. That's area code 317-271-3800. Changes Home Care in Avon.
Welcome back to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium at Avon High School, getting ready to start third quarter action as the 12th-ranked Avon Orioles lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs 27-21. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Orioles will have the football to begin the second half, already up by 6. As Devon Steinman gets ready to kick this one away for the white-clad Brownsburg Bulldogs. And he will do a short kick that's going to be taken by Brian Fitzgerald at the 28 to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, down to the 40, and he will go all the way. Brian Fitzgerald will score on the kick return. It will be a 75-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and that is how we begin the third quarter of play.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's a big-time recruit, too. I mean, that's just a huge play.
Brian Fitzgerald was one of the up men, and I was getting ready to say before they kicked that off, that's been something that the Orioles have done very well tonight, and that has been kick returns. And 75 yards later, Brian Fitzgerald, he takes it into the end zone, and we're an extra point away. As Sam Perino waits, and it's a fake. Here comes Griffin. He'll come around the outside. He'll get a nice block from Matt Moore on the two-point conversion. And Andrew Griffin runs it in for the two-point conversion. And it's now a 14-point Avon Oriole lead. And we have only put 11 seconds off this third quarter clock.
What a great start for Avon. What a tough start for Brownsburg. Brownsburg, played very, very well in the first half. Came out here with a little momentum. Obviously hoping to kick the ball off, get a 3 and out, get back in the ball game, and now they find themselves 2 scores down. So great start, great call on the 2-pointer here. Again, that's kind of a scouting report thing, something they saw in a film study during the week. But what an outstanding play by Fitzgerald, and what a great beginning of the second half here in 11 seconds for Avon.
75-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Brian Fitzgerald. It's the second time we've seen Devon Steinman kick the ball short, try to keep it high, try to prevent the big return. It doesn't work as Fitzgerald is able to weave his way through the Bulldogs and head to the end zone. And then the 2-point conversion, Andrew Griffin, he got a great seal block from Matt Moore to just allow him to walk right into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And the Orioles make up for the extra point that was blocked earlier, and they lead by 2 touchdowns. Perino will kick this football away. It'll be taken by Lisman, and this time Perino gets all of it. It goes into the end zone, and the Brownsburg Bulldogs, I'm sure, didn't think they would find themselves only 11 seconds into the third quarter, now trailing instead of by 6, trailing by 14.
Yeah, and, there's plenty of time left in the game, so there's no reason for Brownsburg to panic at this time. But at the same time, Avon has been able to score so easily that, they don't want to let this game get out of hand here early in the third quarter either. So this is a very important drive for confidence and to try to get some momentum back.
Johnson will give it to Akinrabate, and he's going to be brought down after a very, very short gain. Coming in to make the play was Levi Hawk, the 5'11", 210-pound senior linebacker for the Avon Orioles. They will credit Akinrabate with 3 yards. It's just so hard to stop that young man once he gets 4. Johnson swings out right side. Pass is complete to the 30 and up to the 35-yard line. Cameron Martin, the 5'11", 150-pound junior wideout, makes the catch, and he gives the Bulldogs a first down. They'll spot him out of bounds at the 35.
Yeah, ball on the money. Nice, nice comfortable throw there. A little 5-yard out. A little short route. Doesn't take a lot of protection. Hunter put the ball right on the money.
1st and 10, Brownsburg. The give is to Akinrabate. Looks for some room, and he'll just find A.J. Elcock. And A.J. Elcock with a nice one-on-one tackle. Akinrabate will still pick up a couple of yards, but that's all as Elcock brings him down.
Well, A.J. did a good job in contain. And what I mean by that is he got further outside than Akinrabate, and he forced him back inside and made the tackle. I'll get that name straight by the end of the game.
Lisman, they'll set up the screen, but it wasn't there. They were looking for Tyler Kurtz.
Not there.
He was working on Scott Campbell. Lisman looked like he was setting up for a screen near side, but they threw it to Kurtz on the slant, but there was Campbell all over it.
Yeah, forced that ball a little bit. He was covered over the top by Campbell and underneath as well, and looked like that was, his go-to receiver, but, he was very, very well covered on that play.
That'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs, 10:50 in the third quarter, and the Orioles now lead by 2 touchdowns. Johnson back to pass. Pressure comes from the outside. He gets it away, and it's intercepted. Chad Carmichael with the pick. He'll take it to the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. The Orioles brought pressure from the outside. They hurried the throw. Hunter Johnson had to hurry that throw, and he threw it right to Chad Carmichael.
Yeah, great pick, great catch, and you're right. The pressure is always what causes something like that. He probably wanted to hang on just a little bit longer, but had he done that, he would have been sacked. Forced that ball in there a little bit, but, great defense by Avon. Good pressure and a great interception by Carmichael.
Well, this has to be head coach Brett Comer's worst nightmare. Watches Avon score on the kickoff return to open the half. Here's a flea flicker. Here's Peters, wide open. Harrison Weber, and that's a touchdown. 37, 38 yards, and it is quickly becoming a bit of a romp with just 2 plays here in this second half, and Avon is up by 20.
That looks like a play they might have stolen from the AJAA Youth League program on Saturday morning. Well designed, great time to call it. You know, when you get that big play like that and you got the other team that maybe isn't quite ready to play on the next play, they run a little double reverse pass. He probably really could have gone to either side. Perfect throw to Harrison for his fifth touchdown pass of the game.
Low snap. Griffin gets it down, but it kind of throws off the timing. Oh, he got it through.
That was a slow motion extra point.
That was a slow motion. A great job by Griffin. And even though the timing was off, Perino sneaks it through the upright. And with 10:33 left to go in the third quarter, Avon, which led by 6 at the half, they now find themselves leading by 21 with 10:33 left to go in the third quarter. Back with a kick in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900. Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
Well, we haven't even played 2 minutes here into this third quarter, and now Avon, which led by 6 at the half, lead by 21, 42-21. A 75-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to begin the half by Brian Fitzgerald. The 2-point conversion was good. And then on the double reverse pass from Peters over to Harrison Weber from 38 yards out, puts another touchdown on the board. And just like that, Avon up by 21, and I don't know what you tell your kids, Coach, after watching your opponent run off 2 quick touchdowns and you're still trying to figure out what happened out of the locker room.
Well, you know, the one thing you can't get too carried away here is Brownsburg's certainly capable of putting points back up on the board. So the problem really isn't that Brownsburg can't score enough, it's can they stop Avon while they're trying to catch up. They have a great running back. They can certainly throw the football. You know, Hunter Johnson has proven that, you know, he can put up points in a hurry. You know, the problem right now is can Brownsburg's defense slow down Avon's offense?
Perino kicks off. This one's going to bounce, and Lisman will take it at the 5 to the 10, 15. Eludes one tackle. He's to the 20, to the 25, and finally, on a very determined run by Vincent Lisman, he'll take it up to the 25-yard line. And they'll spot him at the 26, and now Brownsburg starts this drive at their own 26, down by 21 points with 10:24 left to go in this third quarter.
I know it's not Coach Bombi's style, but, you know, you're up by 3 scores here, and, you know, the biggest thing that Avon wants to make sure they do here is not to give up the quick scores. So you don't want to get away from your game plan. You want to continue to be aggressive as we usually do, but at the same time, you know, you might want to slow down things here a little bit.
Johnson pump fakes, then ran with it, and he's finally going to be hauled down, and then a late hit. I believe A.J. Elcock's going to be hit for the late hit as Johnson was brought down from behind.
Well, Hunter is an outstanding athlete, and, you know, he is a capable runner, but you really, really, really like to have him running up the middle rather than throwing the football down the field. So great pass rush, great coverage by Avon. You know, Hunter Johnson, Brownsburg quarterback, did what he had to do and put it away and try to get what he could. You know, unfortunately for Avon, they hit a little bit too late after the whistle, and the 15 yards again is marching them up the field.
Batustik had Johnson down after a gain of about 3, but then Elcock came in late, and that'll move the ball up to the 44-yard line of Brownsburg. 1st and 10 will be what the Bulldogs will face here with 3 wide receivers. This for the first time tonight, we see 3 wide receivers on one side. Johnson with a hard count, and instead of drawing the Orioles offside, he causes his own man to flinch, and that'll cost him 5. Though we have seen this change before.
I was going to say, it seems like a no-brainer to us, but let's see.
And it is a false start by the Bulldogs, so they'll mark him back 5.
And we clearly have the best view of things from up there.
We have seen the Bulldogs all night basically in a 4-wide set, but they've had 2 to each side of the formation. Now they will run 3 to the far side of the field with a single wide receiver near side. Johnson back to pass. He'll fire. Has his man at the 48, over the 50, to the 45, to the 43, and brought down there. That is Ray White, who had the long touchdown run earlier in the game, and he has a big gainer to the Oriole 40-yard line, 1st and 10 Brownsburg.
Well, Hunter got a chance to display his arm there. That's just a little sit-down curl route inside the zone, and I mean, that ball was whistling through the air. Put that ball right on the money.
Here's Akin Rabati over the left side, and he's going to run into A.J. Elcock as well as C.J. Hunt, but the big running back will gain 5 yards on the play as his momentum was all downhill, and he'll take it to the Oriole 35 and set up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Avon wants to disrupt things here. An interception, an incompletion, a penalty, a loss, anything they can do to get them behind schedule.
There's Akin Rabati once again. Timmy Osho, he met him in the hole. Akin Rabati will still pick up a yard, but it will bring up 3rd down and about 4.
You know, good situation here. You know, Avon's got them 3rd and 4. I'm sure they're in 2-down territory, especially being down 3 touchdowns. So, you know, we'll see how they attack this 4 yards.
Lisman and Martin to the near side. Here's a give, and the ball's on the turf. It is still loose. Brownsburg's going to recover it. Akin Rabati just never got the handoff from Hunter Johnson, and the ball was loose. And whether Brownsburg recovers this or not, it's a loss all the way back to the 45.
Well, there's exactly what I said. They need a little help from Brownsburg, and they got it. You know, instead of being 4th and 1 or 1st down here on the 30-yard line, now they're back here, you know, at midfield, having to turn the ball back over to Avon's offense. And, you know, at this point, the way they're rolling here and the way the momentum is, that's something you really don't want to do.
Bryant and Matt Moore were back at their own 10-yard line. Hunter Johnson is the punter for the Bulldogs. He'll get this one a low line drive kick. It's going to take a bounce, and they will let this one go. Bryant had half an idea, but with the Orioles' woes in the punt return game of the last couple of games, making some poor decisions, he elects to let this one go, and Avon will have this ball 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line when we come back. 8:04 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Avon leading Brownsburg 42-21. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on Audio Sports Online and XRBRadio.com. Running out of space? Tired of the clutter, but don't want to part with your possessions? We have a solution for that at Northfield Self Storage in Brownsburg. Whether you need a little extra storage or a larger space, our storage units ranging from 5x10 to 10x30 will surely take care of your needs. We also carry packing supplies such as boxes, tape, bubble wrap, and a whole lot more. Come see Northfield Self Storage and U-Haul at 1530 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg, open 7 days a week.
Plumbing problems? Yeah, we all get them from time to time, but what if we could avoid the problem? That's what your local Hendricks County hometown company, Westside Plumbing, is here for. At Westside Plumbing, we're dedicated to teaching you about your plumbing problems and helping you maintain your pipes to avoid the big, often messy and expensive problems that could occur. Sometimes Westside Plumbing can even help you fix your plumbing problem right over the phone. Save time and money. Call Westside Plumbing today at 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. 445-8399.
Brownsburg Bulldogs, after watching Avon roll off 15 points, they get a drive. They manage to drive into Oriole territory, but a fumbled exchange from Hunter Johnson to Toksak and Rabati leads to a punt by Brownsburg, and they pin the Orioles back at their own 10-yard line where they will have it 1st and 10, up 42-21 with 8:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
You know, again, you don't want to get away from your game plan, but Avon wants to make sure down here that they secure the football. Don't do anything to allow Brownsburg to get any momentum and get back in the game.
Orioles with 3 wideouts to the far side of the formation. Peters out of the gun. DePriest the tailback. It's DePriest with the ball. He'll take it straight up the middle, and Corey will pick up about 4 up to the 14-yard line. Nice gain on first down. It'll be out 2nd and 6.
Yeah, you can already see here a little bit that the wind is out of the sails a little bit of Brownsburg. They came in here to start the second half, within a touchdown of getting back in the lead, and now suddenly they look up and they're down 3 touchdowns. I mean, their score's already been doubled, so they're 3 touchdowns down, and that's tough to make up.
Peters works out of the gun. Bulldogs showing blitz. They give it to DePriest, who slipped as soon as he got the football, but great penetration by Brownsburg.
Probably lucky for him that he did, because he had a host of defensive linemen there waiting for him. So probably slipping and going down and taking a couple of yard loss is better than what might have happened had they gotten the handoff off.
Anthony Ciccarelli and Ricky Clark both into the Oriole backfield just as DePriest got the handoff. It's a loss of about 3 back to the 11-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9 for the Oriole offense.
Yeah, and 3 and out and punting isn't the worst thing in the world for Avon right now.
Brandon back to pass, fires over the middle. He had Jordan Peterson, threw it slightly behind him. Peterson running down the hash marks. Had a bit of a window there. It was a fastball and slightly behind him. Peterson couldn't get his head turned around to make the reception, and the Orioles will be forced to punt. So Sam Perino will be on to punt this ball away. I believe this is his first punt of the night. Vincent Lisman will plant his heels at the midfield stripe. 6:44 left to go, third quarter. Avon up 42-21, and Perino will kick this ball away from his end zone.
Yeah, just make it unreturnable. Make him fair catch or kick that ball out of bounds.
High snap. He'll get it away, an end-over-end kick that's going to take a bounce, and it'll take an Oriole bounce. Lisman touches it. It goes backwards, and fortunately for Brownsburg, it goes out of bounds, and the Bulldogs will keep possession, but it really looked like Lisman touched that football, and because he was on a beeline to try to recover it. Unfortunately for Brownsburg, it goes out of bounds, though it does go out of bounds at their own 35-yard line. So Brownsburg has it 1st and 10 from their own 35, trailing by 21, with 6:33 remaining still in this third quarter.
Yeah, just, for Avon again, don't give up a game plan, but nothing cheap. Take some time off the clock, make Brownsburg earn it. If they complete a few passes underneath of you, that's fine. You can live with that.
Johnson with a high pass. He was either short of Lisman or over the head of White. It falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And this is a tough situation here for Hunter. You're down 3 touchdowns. Yes, he's got the arm and capable of doing it. If Avon backs up like they're gonna, you might be able to nickel and dime a little bit, but those defensive linemen are just going to pin their ears back and come.
On this 2nd and 10, the give is to Akinrabadi. He will bully it right up the middle, and Akinrabadi will pick up 6 yards past the 40 to the 41-yard line to set up 3rd down and 4.
If you're Brownsburg, you don't want to give up your game plan, but at the same time, you have to. You're 3 touchdowns down. You don't really want to be methodical in doing it. Avon's probably going to make them try to be, so they're going to have to try to come up with some big plays.
We're midway through the third quarter on this 3rd and 4. Johnson, nowhere to run. He loses the football. As coming in to make the sack was Brody Good. And Johnson coughs it up. A.J. Elcock comes away with it. Another turnover sets up the Avon Orioles in excellent field position at the Bulldog 29.
Yeah, Brody's had an outstanding year. I'm really happy for Brody. He missed nearly all of last season with an ACL injury, had the surgery, rehabbed. He's a good hard worker. He's a tough kid. He gets after it. He'll run up and smack you, but he's a really, really outstanding athlete. When you've got him out there with Matt Thompson, and Levi in the middle, along with Zach Batustak. You've got an outstanding set of linebackers for Avon.
The Orioles have it 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 29-yard line. 5:51 left to go, third quarter. Avon up 42-21. Peters back to pass, has all day, fires into double coverage and almost looking for that one-handed grab over there in the corner. I believe was Andrew Griffin. He was covered over there by the Bulldogs in the corner. I believe that was Jalen Keith.
Yeah, did a good job trying to draw a flag there a little bit too. The typical little bumping on the way down, that you're going to see when you're playing that kind of tight coverage against an outstanding receiver, but a good no call by the official.
The Orioles go home run on the first play. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. 3 wideouts to the far side of the formation. Harrison Weber's the lone wideout near side. Darian Love is the tailback. Peters back to pass, sets up the screen. Here's Love at the 25 to the 20 to the 15. And
one more block.
Just needed that one more block, but Love picks up 14 yards on the play to take it down to the Bulldogs' 15-yard line. And the Orioles have it 1st and 10.
Yeah, nice play call. They're usually good for 1 or 2 screens, a game. It's very successful. They've set it up by throwing deep a number of times tonight. Brownsburg's defensive front has been very, very extremely aggressive the entire night. So a screen is one of those, kind of like the Brandon Peters little quarterback draws, just to kind of slow down and make you think twice about turning loose with your defensive front on the rush.
Andrew Griffin will line up on the far side of the field. He was up one-on-one with Jalen Keith. Peters will be back to pass, fires, he finds Andrew Griffin. Griffin will take it into the end zone, a 15-yard strike, and the Orioles with 6 Brandon Peters touchdown passes are an extra point away by going up by 28 points.
Yep. Well, Avon's got a lot of weapons, but, kind of like baseball with the pitcher, it all starts with the guy behind the center. And, I've watched Brandon evolve. He's always had that great arm. He can always throw the football. He's always had athletic skills. But I really believe that he's grown into an outstanding quarterback. He's got poise. He doesn't get flustered. He makes plays. He makes the players around him play bigger and better. And, he's put on a nice show tonight, aided by a lot of his teammates.
Perino's kick is good. And with 5:10 remaining to go in the third quarter, all Avon. They lead Brownsburg 49-21. Back with a kickoff in a moment. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at RedCobraWrestlingAcademy.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon Football Broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
Brandon Peters' 6th touchdown pass of the night. Another one to Andrew Griffin, 15 yards out. And the Avon Orioles, who led by only 6 points at the end of the first half, have stretched their lead to 28 points. And there's still 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. If it was all big plays by both teams in the first half, it's just simply been all big plays by Avon here in the second half. 28 points here is their advantage, as they've scored many different ways here in this football game. But the one constant, it's been Brandon Peters at quarterback, showing off his arm and showing off the precision passing. And right now, the Orioles are doing it on offense, defense, and special teams here in the second half.
Well, Avon's got 49 points, and there's still 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And, I'm trying to think back. The last time might have been the drive, which was a fumble on the 1 yard line, and really that was a scoring drive, other than a little bizarre ending there with the fumble on the 1. So they're pretty much doing what they want to do here right now.
Perino will kick this one away. It'll be taken at the goal line. Coming out to the right side.
Oh, what a great play by Matt Thompson.
Matt Thompson just simply buries over there on the far right side with the return for Brownsburg was Antonio Baker.
Why doesn't some Division I program get smart and give that kid a scholarship? I mean, he can flat out run. I can't remember the last time I've seen him miss a tackle, and he's a great coverage linebacker because he's an outstanding athlete. So I really think somebody's missing the boat on him. Maybe with the coverage that he get from the game tonight, maybe somebody will be smart enough to see what kind of skills he has and offer him a scholarship.
Johnson gives it to Akinrabadi, and Akinrabadi, all he could do was hope that C.J. Hunt didn't get a hold of him, but C.J. did, and Akinrabadi is going to be dropped for about a 1 yard loss. Good pursuit by the 6'2", 245-pound junior nose guard as he brought down Akinrabadi. Lisbon will go to the far side as the Bulldogs line up 3 wide receivers on that far side of the field for 2nd and 11. Johnson back to pass. Now he will feel the pressure, rolls out to his right, and simply throws this football away. He had 3 Orioles chasing him back toward the end zone. He threw it over to the far side of the field where I believe he was looking for Eli Johnson, who was well covered, I believe, by Bryant Fitzgerald. And it'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a tough situation here. I mean, you're 4 touchdowns down, and you have to score in a hurry. The clock is not a problem yet, but if you don't start scoring on every possession and stop Avon, which is still the major problem, it's going to be a tough fourth quarter.
3rd and 11, Johnson back to pass. He gets hit as he throws. No penalty flag. He rushed the throw. His pass intended for Cameron Martin falls incomplete.
Yeah, Campbell and Thompson on coverage, and they had it covered pretty well.
And it'll be a 3 and out for Brownsburg. The one thing that Coach Comer probably said absolutely could not happen was a 3 and out after now finding themselves down by 4 touchdowns. That's what happens. And Hunter Johnson will be kicking this one away from his own end zone. Brian Fitzgerald and Matt Moore will plant their heels back at the Bulldog 45-yard line. Johnson gets this one away, an end-over-end kick. A flag is in the end zone. Moore gets the return, but let's see what the flag is.
We didn't need it. I mean, that's you want to pressure them, but right now the last thing in the world you want to do is give Brownsburg any hope at all. You had 3 and out. You're forcing them to punt. Yes, you want to put pressure on the kicker, but this to me is an unnecessary 15-yard penalty. And looking back on this tomorrow, it really might not make a difference, but this is one of those coaching things that just drives you crazy.
It is a 15-yard personal foul penalty against Avon, which will pull the Bulldogs up to the 27-yard line, and they'll get some new life on a drive that went nowhere fast. And they will have some new life here, 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. They still trail 49-21 with 4:16 left to go third quarter. Johnson to Akinrabadi. He will plow right up the middle. He will be tripped up by Zach Batustik, but after a pickup of about 3 on the play up to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and from Avon's point of view and Coach Bombi, I mean, hopefully they'll run that play 20 more times. The clock will run out. We'll head in the locker room and get ready for next week. I guess you got to run a little bit, but, when you're this far down, you just, pin your ears back and do your best and try to catch up.
Jasir Lewis is now in the game as Akinrabadi left, and Jasir Lewis is going to take it right up the gut and get a nice gain up to the 42-yard line. His first carry of the night results in a Bulldog first down.
As long as the clock is running and, you're slowing things down and you make them go 8, 10, 12 plays to score, Avon will be very content with that.
Clock moves. Under 3:38 left to go third quarter. Here's Lewis, and he has met and dropped. And we've been saying Zach Batustik's name all night long. Another great play by the linebacker Zach Batustik coming in from his middle linebacker position.
Yeah, had the open window. Things opened up. He hit the hole in a hurry and made a great open field tackle.
Akinrabadi is back in after taking a couple plays off. Lewis heads off for the Bulldogs. 2nd and 10. Johnson back to pass. Fires, has his man wide open. Coming in to make the tackle was Scott Campbell, but not before Cameron Martin has a first down in Oriole territory, down to about the 47-yard line.
And again, nice completion for Brownsburg, but Avon's very content. You know, if you want to throw those kind of passes, keep running time off the clock, I mean, even a touchdown or two, you're still going to win the game. So as long as they don't give up anything big, they're going to be fine.
Here's a give to Akinrabadi. He goes up the middle. Again, Zach Batustik there to bring him down after a gain of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. They'll spot him shy of the 45-yard line. Call it 2nd down and 8.
Avon's goal here is just to keep everything in front of them and not let anything get behind them, and they'll be fine.
Johnson back to pass. He throws it up, and he's going to throw it up into double coverage. As Ian Pendleton was back there along with Lance Meyer. Ray White was the intended receiver. It falls incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Bulldogs with 2:34 left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, they had them bracketed pretty good. They had one behind and one inside, and there really was no way in the world they were going to be able to thread that ball in there. But again, Brownsburg has to take that chance and go for broke.
So bring up 3rd down and 8. Nose of the football just shy of the 45-yard line. Brownsburg down by 28 as they get the play from the sideline. Orioles with a 3-man front. Johnson back to pass. Here comes Elcock. They'll set up the screen, and it's blown up. And coming in to make the play, and I don't know how many times I've said his name on this drive, Zach Batustik. He took down Tokes Akinrabadi for a loss back to the 47-yard line.
Great play. Just smelled it out all the way. I don't know if he was a man or just saw it developing, but as soon as he caught the ball, he was tackled. Great play by Zach Batustik.
Hunter Johnson now punt this ball away. The last time he punted, Bulldogs were the beneficiaries of a roughing the kicker call. And Johnson will get this one off. It'll take a sideways bounce and roll out of bounds about the 25-yard line, and the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 with a minute 49 left to go in this third quarter of play. They lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs by 28 points, 49-21. Bulldogs trailed by the score of 27-21 at the half. It's been all Avon here in the second half as they go on offense at their own 24-yard line. As Peters waits for the snap, 3 wideouts to the top. Brandon flushes, goes left, fires, pass in and out of the hands at the 30-yard line. Andrew Griffin with a rare drop tonight is.
I'm racking my brain to try to remember when I've seen that last.
He was wide open at the 30-yard line. Brandon hit him with a strike, but that's one of those that just hit right into the shoulder pads and bounced right back out. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Avon.
And again, we're up by 4 touchdowns, but, you know, the incomplete pass stops the clock.
So Peters, this is give to Corey DePriest, and DePriest is going to be ridden down for little to no gain on the play. Isaac McCormick and Anthony Ciccarelli both in there on the tackle. It's going to set up 3rd and long for the Orioles with the clock moving under a minute 30 left to go third quarter. Avon leading Brownsburg 49-21. Ball resting at the 25-yard line. Orioles need to get to the 34 to pick up the first down.
As I mentioned earlier on the earlier drive, not that they want to do it, but I think Avon would be very content here just to run as much clock off as they can, punt the ball down in good field position, and, you know, again, the big thing right now is to let that clock run.
Brandon back to pass, throws to the left side, pass is complete. Jordan Peterson, he'll have the first down at the 37-yard line before he's run out of bounds on that far side. Victor Inglima there to knock Peterson out of bounds, but it's a big third down conversion as the Orioles move the chain.
That's a tough throw for anybody. I mean, that's a high school kid making an out throw to the left-hand side, and again, pressure situation. You're probably playing your big rival, and Jordan Peterson ran a nice route, got just enough. Brandon put the ball in there on time, and we've got the first down and keeping that clock running.
55.5 seconds, and now we have the first timeout that's been called this entire game is called by the Brownsburg Bulldogs with 55.5 seconds remaining in the third quarter as the Orioles have first and 10 at their own 37. We'll take a timeout as well. Avon leading Brownsburg 49-21. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Welcome back to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. 55.5 seconds remain in the third quarter. All Avon in this second half. They lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs by 4 touchdowns at 49-21. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. It's another late Friday night for the Avon Orioles, but right now, unlike the situation last week, Orioles feeling a little bit better about this game. They're up by 4 touchdowns. They have the ball first and 10 at their own 37-yard line after the Bulldogs timeout, as the Orioles will send 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Peters works out of the gun. He'll take the snap, hand the ball off. This is, I believe, Corey DePriest, and Corey's not going to find a whole lot of running room right there as he is met at the point of attack and immediately dropped by the defensive tackle Anthony Ciccarelli. We've said his name quite often here tonight for the Bulldogs defensively, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 as the clock is under 32 seconds left to go in the quarter. Orioles will have to run a play. Weber and Griffin to the near side. They're joined by Matt Moore. Jordan Peterson lines up close on the left side of the formation. DePriest is the lone back. Brandon back to pass. Now gets pressured. Penalty flag comes, and Brandon's going to throw this away. And coming in and trying to make a sliding catch like a center fielder was Harrison Weber, but this likely was going back all the way as a holding penalty is going to be called against Avon with 9 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Weber, who was made a really big effort to come back for that football. Jordan Peterson was watching it go over his head. Weber came in and like an outfielder in baseball trying to slide and make the catch. He came running in, slid, but couldn't come up with a catch. It would have been moot anyway as the Orioles were called for holding. And they will march this football backwards. And when they are all said and done, they'll spot it at the 20-yard line. That is going to bring up 2nd down and a half acre to go as the Orioles would need to get the ball up to the 47-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and about 26. As Peters will work out of the gun with 3 wideouts to the near side on what will likely be the final play of the third quarter. Brandon back to pass, swings it out, has Harrison Weber at the 25. Can't quite elude one tackle. They will be taken down beyond the 25, close to the 27, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter of play. Avon comes out like a ball of fire in the second half. They start the second half with a kickoff return from a touchdown, and it's been all Orioles ever since. After 3 quarters of play here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium, Avon leads Brownsburg 49-21. Back with the fourth quarter after this. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online.
Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 286-3500 for free delivery to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Specialty pizzas, calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, all made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. Not to mention Panuni's jumbo wings. Just tell them you heard about it from XRB and get 10% off of your order. Check out their Facebook page for specials. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Locally owned Panuni's Pizza and Wings on 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg.
Changes Home Care is a proud sponsor of Avon High School football broadcast. Changes Home Care assists the elderly in staying independent in the comfort of their own home as long as possible. They assist individuals with bathing, dressing, transportation, medication reminders, light housekeeping, companionship, and much more. Their office is on Shiloh Professional Drive in Avon. Changes Home Care serves Hendricks and Marion County as well as all of the surrounding counties. Their services are available 24/7, 365 days a year. For a consultation appointment, call area code 317-271-3800. That's area code 317-271-3800. Changes Home Care in Avon.
Welcome back to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. Fourth quarter about ready to get underway, and it's been all Avon here in the third quarter. At the end of the first half, it was a 27-21 lead for Avon, and then before you know it, here we are, beginning of the fourth quarter, and it's now 49-21. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. The Orioles will have it third down and 19 from their own 28-yard line as we switch ends of the field. The wind has picked up somewhat as this game's progressed. It's been out of the north all night. It's a little breezier now than it was at the start of the game, and that happens to be the direction the Orioles will be traveling in the fourth quarter as we await for the big boys that are here tonight to say that it's okay to continue this football game as we approach a little bit after 10:30 here on a Friday night in Hendricks County. And Matt Moore and Andrew Griffin having a little fun here while we wait for the clearance to begin play. It's been a big crowd all night here for Avon. The Brownsburg folks, well, they're starting to thin out that side of the stadium over on the far sideline as they see their team down by 4 touchdowns, and we're ready for play to begin the fourth quarter. Again, 3rd and 19 for the Orioles, ball at their own 28-yard line. 4 wide out look as Brandon Peters surveys the defense. Corey DePriest is the lone tailback on this 3rd and 19. It's a draw. Here's DePriest to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45. He's going to be finally brought down at about the 45-yard line. A big pickup, but it's going to be 3 yards shy of a first down as Corey DePriest takes it all the way up to the 45-yard line.
Well, they're doing what they want to do. They're taking time off the clock. They're trying to, make sure the field position is such that Brownsburg's got to go a long way. They just want to kind of slow things down here a little bit, change the pace of the game, let that clock run out, savor the victory, and move on.
Sam Perino will punt this football away as he stands back near his 30-yard line. Vincent Lisbon for the Bulldogs back at around his own 25 as the clock continues to wind. 11:08 remaining in this football game. Perino with a good snap and gets an end-over-end kick that will bounce and die right there at about the 30-yard line where Matt Moore will down it for the Avon Orioles. And Hunter Johnson and the Brownsburg Bulldogs, who have been kept off the scoreboard so far in this second half. The 21 points that they show on the scoreboard, that's what they had after the first half of play. And right now, the Bulldogs have been stymied by this Oriole defense, and a bit of desperation as well has taken the Bulldogs a little bit out of their game, but they'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line to begin this drive, trailing 49-21. Johnson, however, will give it to the tailback, and taking it over the left side and picking up about 4 yards is Jasir Lewis. And Lewis will actually, they'll say he'll pick up 4 yards. They'll give him a spot at around the 34-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Again, Lewis with the carry, and he'll pick up a couple of yards this time, as right now it's Coach Comer is electing to just simply run this football, and he'll pick up a couple of yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3.
You know, I think, I'm guessing, but I think they're just trying to establish a little momentum here. I mean, they're a little shell-shocked. They've been slapped around here pretty much the 3rd quarter. Right now they're just trying to get in a groove here a little bit, and if they have to run the football to do it. 4 touchdowns in a quarter after you've only had 3 in the first 3 quarters is a difficult thing to get done.
Play clock down to 6 as Johnson takes the snap. He fires, and fires it right into the hands of Brian Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald to the 35, to the 30, 25, 20, to the 10, to the 5, and he is into the end zone. An interception return for a touchdown. I believe it'll be officially about 43 yards. And it's another 6 points for Avon. They lead 55-21 pending the point after. Well, we heard earlier, and Fitzgerald mobbed over here. He got the news this week that IU has made that young man an offer, and I'm sure he's going to have more than a few offers before his career here at Avon is done as he continues to make big plays. Perino on for the point after. He will get this one up. He will get this one through. And with 9:37 remaining in this football game, all Avon, they lead the Bulldogs 56-21. Back with a kickoff after this. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online. Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
Avon Dental Center is a proud sponsor of Avon High School sports broadcast. Dr. Timothy Greer and Dr. Christopher Lefebvre have served Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. Avon Dental Center offers high-tech dentistry that includes dental implants, orthodontics, and one-appointment crowns. At Avon Dental Center, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. You can get more information at avondentalcenter.com or call for an appointment at 272-8100. Avon Dental Center.
Brian Fitzgerald with a 43-yard interception return for a touchdown. Tack that on to a long kickoff return for a touchdown tonight. And Brian Fitzgerald has had himself quite a night. And the Avon Orioles have had quite a second half. They now lead by 35 points, 56-21 with 9:37 remaining in this football game. Sam Perino ready to kick this football away. And he sends it, and not a very good kick, and it will go out of bounds. Again, wind has picked up here late in this football game, a bit of a stiffer wind coming in from the north. And let's see what Coach Comer elects to do, and he will send Hunter Johnson back out where it will be 1st and 10 for the Brownsburg Bulldogs at their own 35-yard line. They trail by 35 points, 56-21 with 9:37 left to go in this fourth quarter. Johnson, the offense, back out on the field for the Bulldogs. As we are seeing Jasir Lewis is the tailback, and he'll get the carry. He'll elude one tackle, and then he'll be brought down after a pickup of about 4 yards on the play. Brody Good with the tackle to bring up 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, Avon's starting to, little by little get some of their other players in there, especially some of the seniors, give them the opportunity. Avon, has 35 seniors this year. It's a really outstanding senior class. Some of these kids aren't starters, but they have a lot of pride in the program, and Coach Bless and the staff are trying to get some of those kids in the game, which is a terrific thing.
Here's Lewis. He'll look for some room, and he will pick up a few yards before he is driven backwards. Matt Thompson in on the tackle. They'll give forward progress to Lewis to about the 43-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2 for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, trailing 56-21. 8:42 left to go in the football game. A.J. Alcock will come to the sideline.
See Darnell Tolliver in there, Parker Munger, Davian Porter are back there in the secondary. Griffin Blunk.
So 3rd and 2, Johnson will give it to Lewis. Lewis will snake through. He will pick up the 1st down as he is tackled right around the near midfield stripe. It'll be a 1st down for the Bulldogs as they will stop the clock to move the chains. And the Bulldogs, as they have been all game long, already lined up at the line of scrimmage. To the near side will be Eli Johnson and Ray White. Ray White was on the receiving end of a long Hunter Johnson touchdown pass in the first half, but it's been a much, much different story here in the second half. We still have 8 minutes to go, but the Bulldogs seem to be content to just let the clock wind here. Here is Lewis. He'll take the handoff. He'll take it right up the middle. He'll be stacked up and eventually brought not down, but he will be stopped. Brody Good, Zach Batustik, C.J. Hunt, whole host of Avon Orioles. And as Coach Shelbourne mentioned, now we're seeing a lot of second-teamers make their way in. Caleb Berry will take over at nose tackle, or at nose guard.
Nice reward for kids that work hard every day in practice and don't always get the opportunity, but this is one of those things that, makes you feel good as a coach to get these kids in a game like this. This is a great memory for them.
Sear Lewis is the tailback. Evidently, Toksak and Rabati's night is done as they are giving the 5'9", 175-pound senior the carries here, especially in this fourth quarter. Akin Rabati, he broke off some really big runs in that first half, but it's been a different story here in the second half. Vincent Lisman's out. Now we're starting to see maybe a little shuffling going on by Coach Comer as well.
Well, the backup quarterback is in. That's a sophomore kid, Kyle Strakis.
So Hunter Johnson's night is through. Strakis, the 5'9", 152 sophomore, is in. Lewis gets it, and Jacob Otto, who came in for A.J. Alcock, he gets the tackle, a 6'1", 210-pound senior, as now we're seeing a whole host of substitutions on both sides of the football.
Yeah, other than the kids getting the opportunity to play now and their parents, I think everybody would just assume this fall game be over. I know the coaches want to get out here with any of their, without having any of their really, really outstanding players getting hurt. Yeah, you hate to lose a game like this, but you do have the rest of the season and the playoffs to get ready for, and, you just chalk this one up, learn what you can from it, and move on.
Still have half the fourth quarter to play here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium, but the Avon Orioles well on their way to their second victory of the season, their first Hoosier Crossroads Conference victory. And they will have a very tough game next week. They will play the Whiteland Warriors, a perennial Class 5A power. Avon went to Whiteland last year, got a very, very big win down at Whiteland, but they'll be welcoming the Warriors to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium next week. Here is the give, and over the right side is the tailback. That is Joey Sturgill. a 5'10", 170-pound sophomore, and Sturgill will take it down to about the 32-yard line. That'll set up 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs. Clock continues to run. 5:25 left to go in the football game, as both teams now with just about every second teamer that they have now out onto the field, playing in a big game under some national television. Here's Sturgill. He's got the carry, and he might gain a yard or two. Zach Batustek is still out there for the Avon Orioles. They'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Under 5 minutes left to go, 4th quarter, 56-21. This game really turned on end with Brian Fitzgerald kickoff return for a touchdown to start the second half. There is a pass, and pass is incomplete as Kyle Strakis was looking over to the left side. I believe he was looking. Irvin Wesley was the intended receiver, and it goes incomplete. It'll bring up 4th and 4, and Coach Comer will simply leave the offense out to go for it with 4:37 remaining in the contest. Strakis, quarterback, Sturgill, the running back. Strakis, he'll fire it to the left side. Pass is complete, and it will not be anywhere near enough for a first down, as the Oriole defense will sniff that out and stop Brownsburg, and the Bulldogs will turn it over on downs with 4:29 left to go in this football game. All Avon, they lead Brownsburg 56-21. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and ASO.
Plumbing problems? Yeah, we all get them from time to time, but what if we could avoid the problem? That's what your local Hendricks County hometown company, Westside Plumbing, is here for. At Westside Plumbing, we're dedicated to teaching you about your plumbing problems and helping you maintain your pipes to avoid the big, often messy and expensive problems that could occur. Sometimes Westside Plumbing can even help you fix your plumbing problem right over the phone. Save time and money. Call Westside Plumbing today at 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. 445-8399.
Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon Football Broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
4 minutes and 29 seconds remain in this football game. All Avon, as it's been since the opening kickoff of the second half. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Avon with a 56-21 lead over the Brownsburg Bulldogs. A whole host of substitutions to begin this offensive drive for the Avon Orioles. And first and foremost, it is a new quarterback, the 6'1", 185-pound sophomore Cameron Meisner, that will take over for Brandon Peters. Brandon, 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns on the night. You almost lost count with just how many great passes he has thrown tonight. Hunter Johnson, he had his bright moments in this game as well, but eventually it was the defense for the Orioles and just too many big plays by Avon in this second half that proved to be the undoing for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, who trailed only by 6 at halftime. And much like the sectional game that was played here last year, as it was a close game through the first half, and then Avon ran away with it in the second half. And here is a bit of a miscommunication as Darian Love was in there at tailback. Not sure who thought whom was supposed to have the football, but Cameron Meisner, I think, definitely thought that Darian Love should have the football, but Meisner gets what he can and actually picks up a couple of yards on the play to bring it 2nd down and 8 as we approach the 4-minute mark left to go in the football game.
Yeah, good experience for all these kids. It's great to get an opportunity, like you said. They're out here under the lights in a rival game. It's a memory that they'll all enjoy.
3 wide receivers, 2 come to the near side. As Meisner has Darian Love to his right. And he will give it to Darian. Darian finds a hole, and he'll pick up a few yards, and they'll spot him down at the 36-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for Avon. As we mentioned, Avon will be playing Whiteland here next week in a game you can watch on Audio Sports Online. The Bulldogs, they will be home to Fisher. So next week's game night in Hendricks County feature matchup will be Avon and Whiteland. We'll have the pregame show about 6:30. Kickoff set between the Orioles and the Warriors set for 7 o'clock. That's game night in Hendricks County next Friday night on xrbradio.com. Darian Love, he'll get the handoff, and Darian Love with a hard bit of running. He'll pick up about 6-7 yards, take it up to about the 43-yard line. They'll move the change as Avon has a 1st and 10. A big, big win for Avon after 2 just, as I would call them, punch-in-the-gut losses the previous 2 weeks. They lose to Ben Davis, then the number 1 team in the state of Indiana, on a interception return for a touchdown with less than 2 minutes to go in the game, and then they give up 11 points to Hamilton Southeastern in the final minute of the game last week to go down in defeat. Here's Love, tailback with the carry. He'll take it up beyond the 45 to about the 46-yard line. It'll be a pickup of about 4, setting up 2nd down and 6 with clock moving, 2:16 left to go in this football game. So a good win for the Avon Orioles to come back. Another late Friday night. The fortunate thing for the Orioles and their fans tonight is they won't have to go too far to find their own beds tonight. And I'm sure they will sleep rather comfortably tonight knowing they played a pretty good football game tonight. Meisner waiting for the play clock to wind down. He'll snap it with 4. He'll give it to Love. Love will find some room around the right side, take it across the midfield stripe. He'll be shy of the 1st down marker by about a yard. That'll set up 3rd down and 1.
Well, we're down under 2 minutes. I think everybody in the stadium will be, well, maybe not the Brownsburg fans, but I think, this game is about run its course. Avon got accomplished what they wanted to get done here tonight, and, this is a nice victory, something that the kids will have to savor for the rest of their lives.
I'm sure Coach Bless, as we talk to him next week on the Mark Bless Show, there'll be some things still to work out. Orioles still gave up a few big plays. Here's Love, the ball carry. He'll get around the left side. He'll have the 1st down and more. Eludes 1 tackle and is finally brought down. Actually, that's Jabon Carter with the carry. So Jabon Carter getting a carry, and he has a nice run inside the 30 all the way down to the 28, 27-yard line.
Yeah, you've got some backup offensive linemen out there, but they got fresh legs. They're excited as can be, and they're just, fired up, getting an opportunity to play, and they're coming off the line of scrimmage here awfully well.
So Jabon Carter gets the carry, takes it down to the 27. We're under 45 seconds, and it looks like
this should be the last play.
Meisner may even take a knee, which he will. And if the referees are smart, they'll just kind of hold on to this football for about 3 more seconds, which they will, and that will do it for tonight's football game as the Avon Orioles, they snap a little 2-game losing streak, and they beat the Brownsburg Bulldogs by the score of 56-21. When we come back, Coach Shelburne and I will talk about tonight's game and look ahead to next week. This is Game Night in Hendricks County on xrbradio.com and Audio Sports Online.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Come visit Blue River Pharmacy, the local independent pharmacy in Hendricks County. When you choose Blue River Pharmacy as your partner in health and wellness, you will enjoy all of the traditional services of a chain pharmacy, plus so much more. Blue River Pharmacy takes time to truly care for and listen to learn our patients' needs. We accept most insurance plans and offer competitive pricing. Whether you need a prescription filled quickly, medical equipment, unique over-the-counter items, or medication management options, Blue River Pharmacy is your local friendly choice. And we offer free delivery. Stop by our Brownsburg location at 680 East 56th Street in the shops at Brownsburg today and choose Blue River Pharmacy.
Back at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium, where the Avon Orioles, ranked 12th in Class 6A, have defeated the Brownsburg Bulldogs by the score of 56-21. This was a wild game in the first half. Both teams kind of answering the other. In fact, the Brownsburg Bulldogs actually at one point took a lead in this contest. But the Orioles had the lead at the half by 6, and then the second half, that really was all that you really need to know, was that the opening kickoff of the second half was returned 75 yards by Bryant Fitzgerald, and the Orioles were off and running in the second half. The Orioles got a 2-point conversion. That made it a 35-21 game. And then Chad Carmichael intercepted Hunter Johnson. That set up on the very next play the double reverse pass from Brandon Peters to Harrison Weber, and the route was on here in the second half. The Orioles got another touchdown from Bryant Fitzgerald, this one on a 43-yard interception return for a touchdown. They also converted on Brandon Peters' 6th touchdown pass of the evening, a 15-yarder to Andrew Griffin. That made it 49-21, and eventually the Orioles would finish the game with the score of 56-21. Coach, you come back after, as I said, a couple of gut-punching losses to Ben Davis and Hamilton Southeastern. You have a few things you want to look at in that first half that you want to correct, but in the second half, you did pretty much everything you wanted to do in that second half.
Well, the last 2 weeks are the farthest thing from their minds right now. They're savoring the victory as they should. The third quarter performance, you couldn't have mapped it out. You couldn't have drawn it up any better. I mean, it was a flawless performance. Started off with with the kickoff return, and from there Avon just had all the momentum, was off to the races, and you could just kind of get the feeling. You could see Brownsburg, not that they gave up, but you could just see that the wind was kind of out of their sails a little bit. And the fourth quarter was just a matter of running the time off the clock, getting people healthy, and moving on. So, this is a rivalry game. We could see a rematch from this. We talked about a couple of weeks ago with the Ben Davis-Avon game that it'd be nice to see a rematch. And, if you're Brownsburg, you're hoping that you can improve here the last couple of games and maybe get an opportunity to come back and, and get a little pride back, because I'm sure that, the first half they played very well. I know they're not happy with, what happened in the second half. And, they're a great coaching staff, and they're going to, look at the film, figure out what they need to do better, and just move on from here, because that's all you can do. But for the Avon community, for the Avon kids, I'm sure for the Avon coaches, they'll sleep a little bit better tonight than they probably have the last couple of weeks. But, they're moving in the right direction. They came out tonight and performed very, very well offensively, defensively, and, things improved in the special teams. And I don't think we had quite as many penalties as we had in the last couple of weeks. So the coaches have been busy trying to correct the things that need to be corrected. The big-time players stepped up and did what they were supposed to do, both offensively and defensively, and in the special teams. People came out here tonight to get an opportunity to see the two outstanding quarterbacks, and while they both played very well, and I think both did well for themselves as far as their reputation is concerned, Brandon Peters obviously stepped up with 6 touchdown passes to follow up, the 3 games he's already had. So, it was a great performance all the way around. You got great contributions from everybody on the Avon, on the Avon team. You got some of your backup kids an opportunity to get out there and play, and you don't want to have to play them, but if the opportunity arises later on when they might have to play in a game situation, this opportunity to get out here under the lights and the rivalry game is certainly going to benefit everyone. So great night for Avon. The tough thing now for the coaches is to, they'll go and watch through the film, let them pat themselves on the back, tell each other how great they were here for one night. But, the sad part about football and being in the middle of the season is you have to move on no matter what.
The Avon Orioles improved their record to 2-2 on the season. They are now 1-1 in Hoosier Crossroads Conference play. The loss drops the Bulldogs to 1-3 on the year, and they are now 0-1 in the HCC. Next week, the Bulldogs will be at home, but they'll be facing a very, very tough Fishers Tigers team. While the Avon Orioles, they will be playing the non-conference game of the night. They will welcome the Whiteland Warriors here to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. We'll have that for you next week, Friday night, with the pregame at 6:30. It will be XRBRadio.com's game night in Hendricks County, featured game of the week. Coach Shelburne and I will have the call at 7 o'clock as the kickoff between the Orioles and the Whiteland Warriors. Avon snaps their 2-game losing streak. They do it in big fashion as they knock off their rival, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, by the score of 56-21. Alongside Dave Shelburne, I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for tuning in to Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and Audio Sports Online. We'll see you next week here in Avon. Game Night in Hendricks County has been brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Avon Dental Center, Changes Home Care, Red Cobra Wrestling, Citywide Paving, Westside Plumbing, Panuni's Pizza and Wings, Blue River Pharmacy, Northfield Storage, Ivy Tech, and the Payroll Department. Game Night in Hendricks County on XRBRadio.com and ASO is an AudioSportsOnline.com production.